Hello folks, welcome back to the Brewtime podcast. We've got ourselves a new sponsor, Transfor Limited Digital Solutions. Transfor Digital Consultancy are a design and development consultancy with a passion for creating bespoke digital solutions for everyday challenges. Transfor Digital Consultancy realise that an effective digital solution needs to be integrated with the rest of your business as part of a broader digital strategy. Transfor Digital Consultancy can provide advice on reaching your target audience through social media sites such as Facebook, Twitter. Other types of social media tools are available, which can help improve your search engine placement. An alternative option could be to have a review of your existing digital solutions and that of your competition. Transfor Digital Consultancy are able to identify ways your own site can gain a competitive edge in the marketplace. At Transfor Digital Consultancy, we provide a consultancy clinic if you require advice or guidance regarding an idea that you have or a project. Hosting options start from £30 per year, so why not get in touch and start the journey now? So head to www.transfor.solutions. That is trans, Trans, the number 4, solutions. And Transfor Solutions actually handle the TeapotOne and Chicken Strips websites. We are also sponsored by Innov. Now, I don't have a specific readout for Innov, but you may well know they are a channel sponsor over on YouTube and produce lots of dashcam type solutions for motorcycles and other vehicles. There's a single camera C5 option, there's the one I have on my tractor at the moment, the K2, which is front and rear camera solution, and there's a new one coming out soon, the K5, which will be a 4K front and rear camera system. Well worth checking out. Head to innov.co.uk, innov.co.uk, or check out any of the video reviews I have and installation vids I have for the C5 and the K2 system on the channel. There will be K5 ones coming soon. Okay folks, on with the podcast, episode 38. Now, as you might be aware, I am chuffed to bits to have been chosen to be one of the presenters on a new motorcycle TV show coming to Amazon Prime round about August time this year, August 2021. This episode, you're going to meet everybody involved, from Tom, who's the director, producer, cameraman, editor, and you'll also meet my fellow presenters, Christy and Graham. This was a giggle. Enjoy. We have Graham.
Hello.
Arth calling Graham.
Well,
hey!
you haven't actually got Graham.
Mr. McGregor, how are you?
I thought, is this not the adventure show?
It'll do, whatever, no worries. How's life?
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Racist.
Does this sound better, Bruce?
Yeah, it does actually. It does sound a little bit better. Yeah, definitely. It's up
Just
to you,
a little
mate.
bit. It depends. We're going with either the ridiculously massive headphones or the little things. But
the audio definitely sounds better with the big headphones, but it's not.
I can't.
This is utter chaos. This is what I'm going to have to work with, people. I'm recording at the moment. It's up to you, Tom. Well, whatever you want. If with the earpods, it just sounds a bit tinny, and I'll tweak it. I'll make you sound.
It keeps putting it back to this automatically, so I don't know how to stop it.
Just use them, and I'll make you sound like Barry White. I'll put loads of bass on it. Don't worry.
Shall I just talk in my deep voice?
Getting a bit
There you
lumpy.
are, Graham.
Hello. What happened to Mr. McGregor?
Excellent. Back. It's quite easy, really.
Wow, this went from A-list to D-list pretty quick, didn't it?
Yeah, I know. This is what you've got to expect, people. This. Guys, are you all right just to crack in straight away? I mean, I've been recording right from the start, but obviously I can start. Yeah, but I can start
the headphone mess. Great.
Yeah, we did, but I mean, I can cut all that out. Obviously, it's up to you. Whatever you're comfortable with, people seeing, just let me know.
Good.
Christy's got all proper lighting and everything.
I know she has. She's proper glammed it up, makeup and everything.
You're putting us to shame.
It's only because I look like an absolute campit if I don't. I just look absolutely. It's too late for me this time of night.
Rubbish. We've seen all your WhatsApp messages over the last month. You're normally in about your 8th beer by now.
I turn into a pumpkin in about an hour, so let's get cracking, all right?
Right then, let's crack on. Folks, this is the crew behind Motorbike TV. Is it Motorbike TV or Motorbike TV show? What's our name?
You should know this. You are one of the presenters.
Yeah, I know, you know.
Sure.
But it is, the TV show is Motorbike TV. But just to avoid confusion, we're on social media and Instagram and things. We're Motorbike TV show. But the website is motorbike-tv.com. There you go. That's
There you go.
the short answer, which is very long.
Awesome. Now, the next very important question is this. Is everybody armed and ready? Excellent. Excellent.
Mine's sort of camouflage, but there is vodka and Diet Coke in there.
I knew you wouldn't let me down,
a
Graham.
mixture of good and
Fantastic.
Am I your
Excellent
first
work.
guest that doesn't drink?
No, you're not actually. No, you can sit in the corner, Tom, and just, whimper away, cringe
Great.
at what comes out in the next hour or
producer
two.
gets to sit here sober while all his presenters get drunk. Great.
Let's start as we mean to go on. Right, slange people. Here's to
Yes.
here's to the future.
Cheers.
Bear in mind, it is the first time we have all met. Even
It kind of-
virtually.
So you weren't there for the big meeting we had on Zoom?
Oh yeah, that was during Christmas. I think everyone was a bit pissed.
I can't
we've had-
remember.
Did we all
We've
meet at
had-
Christmas?
We've had one Zoom call so far, people,
Christmas I'm sorry.
which was during Christmas, and people were a little bit lubricated. So yeah, that might be why.
How would you
I
know?
won't even remember today, tomorrow, so cheers.
I'm the same, but it's nothing to do with the booze. This is quite nice. This Camden beer. I got sent this. One of my friends sent me this in the post. Thank you very much, John. Appreciate it.
What is it, Bruce? I can't see. My poor eyesight.
Camden beer 2020.
Ooh, what kind of flavour is it? What depth is it? What notes are you hitting?
Oh, jeez. Hang on. I might have to have another little sip. It's it's quite like caramelly or something. Let me read what the description says and I'll tell you.
That's cheating. You can't pretend you know about beers by just reading off other descriptions.
I know. It says something about offbeat jazz music, Imperial Pilsner. I don't know. It's nice. It's all right. It's good.
I've never had anything that feels like offbeat jazz music.
You've not lived.
Oh, he's
Tom.
on the
You've not
beat.
lived.
Obviously.
Yeah, exactly. He likes ones on the beat. Right, so with a view to format, I think it'll just be the normal one. We've got loads of questions to go through, and I'm sure we will just let things go as it develops. How's that? Or has anyone got anything major that they want to chat about and get out the way straight away?
No.
I'm just sitting here wincing, hoping this all doesn't all go pear-shaped, to be honest.
It's going to be an absolute train wreck now. It really is.
What
Everyone
is
will
the
be
worst that can happen?
Oh, dear.
I fall off my chair.
What's the worst that can happen? Tom, what's the worst that can happen when you're working with presenters that know you too well and love winding you up? What's the worst that can happen? How upset can you get?
I can get very upset. It's never good being a producer and having to sit there and, be completely helpless as your presenters say things and you can't cut and make them start again.
But
But by all means, we can take the mick out of when Graham first started presenting, and it took him, let's see, what was it, 70 takes to say welcome to the show?
Oh, it's gone from 28 to 35 to 50 to 70.
I know, but it annoys you, so it grows. Eventually, it'll be like, we were there for 4 days.
Well, this is my first gig, so the last time I worked with you on anything, Tom, you made me cry. So we'll see how things go.
It's that kind of taskmaster that I am.
Something's beeping in the background.
What was that about after? Or are we going to discuss that at another closed time. What was the crying? I've heard this so many times and I'm still unaware of the story. Is it one to share now? Or?
I'm just a scary character.
It was the casting couch that you have to go through. Did you not do that with you? You told me it was normal.
No. It's totally normal. It's for the real
Graham's
talent.
like,
Bruce,
yes, he did, yes.
I fast-tracked that bit.
It was Tom filmed my DVD about hang on, what time are we at? 10 minutes, and I'm going to mention it, people. Tom filmed a DVD about my round the world trip and made me cry.
Bruce, did you go around the world?
Yes, I did.
Really?
I
You've
did.
never mentioned it.
I know, I don't like to talk about it, but I will if you want. No problem. I suddenly thought we should introduce everybody to people, I suppose.
Probably, yeah.
It's probably a good idea. Right, so this is your team for the new Amazon TV show. Tom is the producer, director, writes the theme tune, sings the theme tune, hums the theme tune. Then we have Graham, who you might know from Motorbike TV. And we've also got Christy. And then there's me. And that's it. We are going to be your sort of cast and crew for the TV show, which comes out in, is it August still?
The plan is August.
Plan is August.
Year.
Yeah. Right. Cool. And that's on Amazon Prime.
On Amazon Prime, and it'll also be available on our production partners website, which is Dunlop.
Cool.
So yeah, they've come on board as production partners. I'm just going to get the dig in straight away. Straight away, I'd like to thank our production partners, Dunlop. To be fair, they've come in at a time when actually it's really difficult to get support for anything like this at the moment. No one's really kind of confident in the market and things like that. And for them to put their faith in both Adventure Bike TV, which is the other show we do, and the brand new Motorbike TV. Has actually just been fantastic that they're coming on as production partners for that. But yeah, it will be on Amazon Prime. That is our main output, which will go out in UK and the USA. It'll also go out in Germany, but it takes a bit longer to come out in Germany because of all the translations that have to go through for the subtitles. That just takes a few weeks longer. But it'll also be available anywhere else in the world, and for anyone that doesn't have Amazon to watch on the Dunlop website.
Bosh, happy day. I didn't realise that. All right. Excellent.
So anyone can watch it anywhere in the world.
Brilliant. Happy days. So we're looking forward to that. Cannot wait. Well, I can't wait to see it on the TV. Never mind start actually filming it. It'll be cool, that. Right. I think first off then, if we crack on with questions and then just deal with what comes our way, because it'll no doubt trigger various lines of chat.
Yep.
That sound all right?
Good.
Yep.
Happy days. Right, first off, we'll go to Patreon as always, patreon.com/TeapotOne. So, first one we've got is from Bronson. Hi guys, do you think Bruce is doing the old trim teapot thing just so he matches the old press photo? Thanks very much, Bronson. Thank you. And what have you all been doing to get yourselves TV ready for the best? What have you been doing to get yourselves TV ready and all the best for a great project? So, what have you been doing for the TV?
Nothing. I'm behind the camera.
Apparently, we had a production meeting at Christmas, which I completely forgot about. Sorry.
Drinking copious amounts.
I can't wait for the sponsors to watch this and find out that we're really unprepared. Thanks, Greg.
Oh, sorry. Did you want us to put on a work face for this? Sorry.
No, I knew that wasn't going to work anyway.
Graham, you're quite a fit and active bloke anyway, aren't you? You're always out on that push bike thing you've got, maniac.
I would say I'm active. I'm not sure about fit, but yeah, that's just about keeping myself occupied generally. It's not about necessarily preparing for the show. I mean, we kind of joke about it, but there is a lot of preparation that goes on in the background.
Yeah.
Anton is doing 99.9% of that. He's kind of the engine in the background making things happen. And I try to keep fit generally. That's not so much for the show, but I just want to get out and start doing some filming. And we haven't been able to do any kind of proper filming for over a year now, Tom. Over a year.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the last time we filmed was when we did the links for last series of Adventure Bike TV, which was
November 2019.
2019. So it's been just over a year now. So, yeah.
Bear in mind, prior to that, we were filming pretty much every month for 7 years.
Yeah.
So it's been a drastic change.
Have you guys not been filming Adventure Bike TV then? Because I thought you were filming all that at the moment.
No, we just started on the next series of Adventure Bike TV. Basically, during kind of lockdown, when we went to lockdown, we kind of had started kind of prepping the next series, which would have gone out around Christmas time, just gone, 2020. But no, we had all sorts of, obviously it's very hard to get bikes during this time. We did have to look for a change of production partner because, so many people are struggling in kind of the current climate. It was a huge change for us, actually. I don't know how interesting this is for people outside of America, but the sum up is essentially we got to the point where we just had to go, we've got this break that we can't do anything about. What do we do? Do we just try and cobble something together, or do we just stop, give it a break, take a step back and look at it? And that's what we did. Took a step back. Me and Graham had hours and hours and hours worth of conversations over the first few months of 2020 when everything went into lockdown. What will we do?
They were fun times.
Yeah, and that's where we kind of decided, let's actually take a step back and go from really try and push something through that was kind of bigger than just what we'd done in the past, which is obviously now we've got the new Adventure Bike, we've got Adventure Bike TV, and we've got the brand new Motorbike TV. So 2 TV series to cover kind of the whole market as much as we can. So it's been a long time.
I think it's also worth saying, though, it gave us an opportunity to look back at some of the other things that we've done in over the last few years and add them to the specials on Adventure Bike TV. So we've added content to the channel on Amazon without actually filming it, because Tom got able to take stuff we've done in the past. It's been that we own, but we've shown it elsewhere in the past, and that's now gone on the channel.
We've got South Africa, Pyrenees, we've got the British Bike Off. What else have we got? Belgium on there. So a collection of kind of specials we put together on Amazon as well, so people watch those. So we haven't been just sitting there doing nothing.
What about you, Christy?
I've been enjoying a relaxing lockdown. Okay, but also I do have, on a serious note, in preparation for this, fitness-wise, going back to the question, obviously I work out every day. Do a lot of high-intensity training and getting fit. I got 2 kids. And I've run around after them quite a bit.
Sounds like you're busy enough, honestly.
I've enjoyed not having to do the school run. So I drank a lot.
How is the homeschooling going? I love your daily WhatsApp updates about the current state of homeschooling in Christy's house.
I am the worst teacher in the world. Do you know what? Sometimes being a parent, you are too hard on yourself anyway. But I can't even sit back and say I should really give myself credit for being, a mum and a teacher. I am the worst person to teach my own children because they're just as stubborn and frustrating as I am. And they don't listen. They just do not listen. So
I've found my mates that all have school-aged kids. I mean, my son's 23 now, so he's well past that. But my mates that have all got school-age kids, they're all like, I have got a newfound appreciation and respect for the teachers. When you and you're right, yeah. It's not a job I
be
fancy.
very clever, like me, and marry a teacher.
Oh, happy days. That's thinking ahead, that, Tom.
Where I went wrong in life. It has been tough because, we've got, there's a lot of commitments that we have now, that I've been wanting to, there's a lot of stuff that I have to do, but also because my children have been home with me, they have become priority, and I have got to, be a best teacher as I possibly can. And it has been tough, and that's what's turned me to drink in 2020 and 2021. And I now understand why. We used to take the mick out of the teachers in school that stunk of vodka, but now I understand why. I do.
Child services knocking at the door as we speak.
Next. I tell you, Christy, you've got a whole kind of thing to look forward to. So a bit like Bruce, my kids are now 24, 22 and 19, and for various different reasons they're all still at home, although one's meant to be at university, but that ain't happening either. And they just join in with the drinking thing.
This is the thing, yeah. When I sort of started thinking about having a family, I really didn't think through baby and toddler stage. I just assumed it'd be teenagers.
Let's go out.
I love the fact that you think that when your kids are teenagers, they're going to want to drink with you.
They will. I am fun. I forgot that I got 18 years prior to the fun stuff, really. Yeah. So, it's on a serious note, preparation-wise, we've just been doing homeschooling and getting that out of the way. But, for myself, I've been keeping fit. I've been inspired by you, Bruce. I'm going to be doing the challenges and all that soon.
Good work. It's killing me. I'm absolutely knackered, but oh well, never mind. It's got to be done, isn't it? It's got to be done.
You can see, though, the actual aesthetically, you can see the change in you already. You can.
Bugger off. It's very kind of you. Very kind. Right, next question. Let's move on. David Hemmings, to all of you, what 3 items, and this can be anything, what 3 items in your life do you have that you cannot be without, and why? Ooh. Can anyone think of anything straight off, or are we just going to pick on somebody?
Pick on Christy.
Pick on Graham.
Yes, pick on Graham. Go on, Graham.
Go on, Graham. 3 items that you can't live without, and why? Go on, what's just popped into your head? Tell me.
If I say my right hand.
Is that for writing? Writing, obviously.
Because without it, I can't write.
Accelerator hand.
An accelerator hand, exactly. An accelerator hand.
I'm going to have fun editing that. Look at Tom. Tom can just see those sponsors disappearing over the horizon.
Literally, we confirmed a clothing sponsor today. Ferrodax are coming on board, and I know they're like, "Oh, we really want to let you know before Friday, so you can talk about it on the show." And now I think they're just going to be going, "No."
Well, you must have known this was not going to be a sanitized.
I'm going to be able to use the throttle.
Of course, yes. I can't think of any other way that could be interpreted.
No, me either. Especially when Christy's in the background doing that. So,
I'm accelerating.
All right. Of course you are. Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
Go on then. Christy, an item that you can't... Oh, my God, I can't believe I've just asked that now. An item that you cannot live without, and why?
Okay, so... it's not very exciting, and it is rather vain, but eyeliner is one. I can't. Ironically, I can't talk without my eyeliner, but it's a confidence thing, darling.
Right.
So eyeliner is key. Those are 3 things.
3, yeah, if you can think of 3.
Eyeliner. I think I could live without most other stuff, actually. 'Cause I was going to say like mobile phone and everything, but if it comes down to it, I could live without that. I really could. That would be okay.
Whoa. Wait a sec. So a mobile phone, which is your single connection to your family and your kids, you can do without that.
Yeah, forget that.
Yeah,
You've got eyeliner.
Family, yes.
Wow.
Okay. Eyeliner, mobile phone. This is tricky because I'm not like a materialistic person, so actually I could strip it back and say I could live without most stuff.
You're putting way too much thought into it.
Yeah.
Way too much thought into it.
There we are. Eyeliner, food, and my mobile.
I think we've all established that Christy is going to be, actually, contrary to what possibly we initially thought, Christy is going to be the grown-up here and the one that thinks things through logically.
Sandwiches, I get to feed you all. I'll make you all your sandwiches.
You're talking.
I'll fill that
Happy days.
stereotype, don't worry.
Tom, what about you, mate?
Camera. I sounds very kind of because I'm, but no one knows who I am if I don't have a camera in my hand. we go to.
Oh, that's not true.
We go to motorbike shows, and I can walk around without any problems without a camera. As soon as I put a camera in my hand, everyone's like, "Oh, are you that guy that does Adventure Bike TV?" And I can walk. I walk with Graham and things like that, and they'll talk to Graham and ignore me, and then they'll see my camera, and then suddenly I become visible. So it's but I think a camera is quite a special thing in many ways. A lot of people just see it as something that you can kind of record what's going on around you, which of course you can, but it also gives you a great tool to interact with people. When we've done series out in Africa and things like that, some of the most amazing shots we've got are of kids. And what you do is, I always try, whenever I get any sort of camera that's digital SLR, whether it's a proper big camera, something that I can turn a screen round. So I can show the kids, for example, when we were in Africa, we stopped while we were having a bike repaired at the side of the road in Africa, and all these kids are over there, and no one kind of knew what was going on. And they weren't kind of really engaging with us. And then all you do is you flip the screen up so that they can suddenly see themselves on the camera, and you get all these amazing shots of these kids going like this, like this. I think it's a bigger tool in that respect. Also, as I said, it's kind of going somewhere without a camera is quite alien for me.
But we need to take you on a trip without a camera.
I don't want to do them. I think I'd be really boring.
I did it recently. I did it recently. I went on to Wales, funnily enough, with my mates, and I just thought, I'm not taking any cameras. I'm just going to be away with the boys and have some fun. I was just a bit. I wasn't bored, but I just felt a bit lost. It's like I was even talking to myself in my lid, like I was vlogging, and you're like, "Oh, you need to get a grip of yourself here." And now I wish I had filmed it, but oh well, never mind.
I find it really hard to go away on a trip with my friends because they know I film stuff, and I do it just for fun. If I do, I don't know, for 15 years with my buddies, we'll film it. And it feels really weird if I go away a bit, Bruce, exactly like you said. I did it once a couple of years ago. I said, I'm not going to film the trip. And something was really missing.
Yeah.
It was really missing. And everyone said afterwards, there's a film, we want to see the memories and narration. And
so I bet you got places quicker though, didn't you?
It feels weird.
It's that you get places quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you find, though, Graham, that when you're away with your mates, the second you turn a camera on them, they can be the most outgoing, gregarious character ever. You turn a camera on, and like all my lot shut up. They're like, they're great fun to be around, but as soon as I put the camera on them, they all just clam up and they're like, nah,
No, Graham doesn't have that issue. Graham does the complete opposite. Turn the camera and suddenly he's like, "Hi, I'm Graham." You might know me from such TV shows as Motorbike TV and The Great Arctic Bike Off. Did you know I did a TV series with Danny John Jules down in Africa? I think you'll find I did.
Thomas Woodrow, I think you'll find I resemble that comment.
You resemble that comment or resent that comment? Has the alcohol got to you already?
Right, we've got another question.
To answer your question, Bruce, actually, my buddies that I ride with every year, and that they're sort of used to it now. So they're used to it. If I turn the camera on them, generally they kind of used to it. The biggest challenge for me now is to get them to film stuff. Because otherwise, it's me talking to the cameras and walking back from the shower in the morning, and then the rest of it is them and my helmet camera. But now they've all got helmet cameras and they've all got used to greater or lesser degrees doing a bit of diary footage.
Yeah.
And I said, just talk shit to your phone in the morning, and they're all starting to do it. So our films are starting to get better and better and better because they're starting to really get the spirit of doing it, and they also recognise it makes it more fun. And when they see the half-hour film that I kind of throw together afterwards in my very amateurish way, and they show it to their mates or their wives or girlfriends or whatever, that they go, actually, that was quite a lot of fun. I can see you guys have fun. I didn't sit there going, that was boring. I'm quite engaged with that.
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually. Yeah, it's a really good idea. I might try that on one of me. If we ever get to do a trip again, I might try that. It'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Right, next question. The Bingley Wheeler, Dave. Hi, Bruce, Graham and Christy and Tom. Really looking forward to the new show. Will it have a particular motorcycle theme, for example, an emphasis on touring and general recreational riding, or on new bikes and products? Or will it include the full spectrum of bikes and biking? Cheers, and wishing you the very best of success with the new endeavour, Dave.
Guess Tom. I should probably take that one.
It's a Tom question.
Grown up, Tom's question.
It's essentially we are making the easiest way to say it, although we don't like to compare it because things are very different. We're essentially looking to make the Top Gear of motorbikes. You know, we want people to engage with it, so it will take into account the whole realm of motorcycles, touring bikes, sports bikes. There'll probably be a little less adventure because we have Adventure Bike TV, which is the whole show is dedicated to Adventure Bike TV. So there will be, there might be a few bits of adventure bike in there, but most of that will kind of be on Adventure Bike TV. The rest of it, you know, we'll be doing everything from electric bikes, touring bikes, sports bikes. We've got some great cafe races in there, but it's not just a show where we review bikes. You know, that it's a more rounded show than that. We have lots of. The idea is it's almost primarily an entertainment show. We want people to watch the show, and it be something that anyone can sit down and watch. You know, my wife, for example, has no interest in cars at all, but will quite happily watch Top Gear and the Grand Tour because they are entertaining anyway.
Yeah.
So we will be having bike reviews on there, but we will be looking at real kind of headline bikes. The bikes you can't necessarily, nip down to your local dealership and ride. Not the kind of bikes where you can do a YouTube search and find 5,000 different reviews of a bike. It's real kind of the specialist stuff. We'll be doing some great kind of fun challenges with the presenters. We have a segment that's going to be called the Motorcycle Olympics, which is
hence my training.
I don't want to spoil too much. We're bringing the other two presenters from Adventure Bike TV across to do some crazy stuff with some bikes that they've bought. There's some build challenges, some kind of look into kind of more kind of documentary style features where we look at the history of things. Christy's going to be going over to the Isle of Man to do a feature about the TT because obviously it's not running this year, so there'll be features around those kind of things. But I don't want to give too much away. I keep looking up here because up here are all my war room boards, which has all the different features on, which bikes we've got for the features, and who's going to be presenting what, where the locations are, and they're all on a big board up here. So that's why I keep looking up here. But yeah, it's quite a round. The answer is it's a much more rounded show. It's not just chucking a load of bike reviews at you. Yeah, there you
go. Cool. Well, I hope I answered your question. I know, I'm the same. I really can't wait to get sort of cracking on with it, really, and get stuck in. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. Next one, Rob Bignell, to all of you. Brown or red sauce on a sausage sandwich? Come on, there's no debate.
Barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce? What?
No.
Go with brown sauce, isn't it?
This is going to break up the band before we've even got to Top of the Pops, isn't it? I was going to say...
Very specifically, it's brown sauce on a sausage sandwich, and it's red sauce on a bacon sandwich.
Yes.
Christy, I thought we had a thing. I'm the total opposite.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Brown sauce on bacon.
That is it. We're over.
That's it, Tom. This can't happen. This just isn't going to work.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to announce the end of Motorbike TV.
What was that, Graham? Sorry, mate. What?
No, I'm sorry to gang up on you, but I'm 100% with Christy. It's brown sauce on sausage and red on bacon, definitely.
No,
I have to be honest. If I can't have barbecue sauce, I'd do it Christy's way as well. You're kind of the odd one out here, Bruce.
I do like to be an individual, Tom. Says the man on a GS with a rocket kit.
So Bruce, you're saying red sauce on a sausage sandwich?
Yeah, I think I would.
I would say it. Red sauce on a sausage sandwich.
That's the one. Yeah, I'd go brown sauce on a bacon, definitely. But I think I'd probably go red sauce on a sausage.
Why?
Just why not? Because you do the opposite, so then I'm going to do it that way.
I used to think you were a man of integrity, but now I'm not too sure. Really,
I am incredibly stubborn. So if you tell me that's the wrong thing to do, I'm bloody well doing it.
Fair play.
Oh no! I've just seen who the next question's from. If you ever listen to the podcast, you'll know this name, Pete English.
I know that name.
Yep. Here we go. I haven't read these, so let's see what this is going to be all about. Hi guys, hope you're all fitting well. Really looking forward to the new programme. If you were given the chance to have your programme aired on ITV and you could choose the adverts, who would you ask and what would you choose?
Ooh. That's a good question.
It is, isn't it? Pete's questions are brilliant. They get the old brain matter working. Right. Wow.
I don't know. I mean, it'd be really easy to say things like, "Oh, well, of course we'd want Dunlop and we'd want Ferridax because they're sponsoring the show." But
Tom's the company man.
But in terms of genuinely, I like a good Guinness advert. I mean, they are just. Just in terms of something that's just cinematically beautiful is a Guinness advert.
Do you remember the horses running with the waves?
Yeah, the horses coming out of the wave.
Oh, stunning,
gorgeous.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that Guinness or Lloyd's Bank?
No,
Guinness. That was Guinness.
Because they're white horses coming out of the wave. You're thinking of black horses for Lloyd's Bank. They run along the beach too.
Who was the widget one then? Who was the widget one? Wasn't that Guinness?
No, that was Boddingtons or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bodies or Worthingtons or something, wasn't it? The widget in the can.
Yeah.
Was it a can Guinness one? I don't know.
I can't remember. I don't know. I remember the Guinness when Guinness started doing those ads, because there was the Rugby World Cup, I think the year after they did that advert, and they adapted the advert to have rugby boys instead of the horses. It was rugby boys coming out of the waves.
Coming out of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you've got to love a good Marks and Spencer's food advert, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Marks and Spencer's chocolate cake.
It isn't just any Marks and Spencer's food, is it?
This isn't any chocolate cake. This is Marks and Spencer's chocolate cake.
Marks and Spencer's chocolate cake, yeah.
Oh, I'm just thinking how much fun I'm going to have doing the trailer for this. It's going to be brilliant.
Which is, yeah, what was the Aussie advert for a beer when they said, "Oh, I can see the pub from here"?
Oh,
That'll be the one.
oh
Or
what
a
is
sherry,
that?
a sherry for the missus. That one. 4X. Is that 4X?
Was it 4X?
I wouldn't give a 4X for a.
I don't
It's got to be
know.
alcohol.
You're a bit older than me, to be fair, Ray.
Yeah.
Is that
Or not.
Foster's then, for Rex?
I thought maybe it's Foster's. I don't know.
Do you remember? What is that beeping? Can anyone hear a beeping? I keep hearing like a...
It's. I know exactly what it is. It's Christy filming on her phone, and she's getting text messages and it's vibrating.
All right. Is that what it is? Right.
Yep.
I'm so sorry. How'd you mute it?
But you can't without. I don't know.
You put on Do Not
I'm
Disturb.
so sorry.
You put Do Not Disturb on it.
I'm getting,
All your friends. I like...
It's her husband going, "Can you get home? These kids are driving me mad."
it's him going, "You're too drunk. Cut it there."
Do you remember the Skull advert? Graham, you'll remember the Skull advert.
Well, the Vikings.
Yeah. Skull. Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah.
Right. What?
You've
what
got to look for it as well.
I'm working on it. it. Between this and rowing, I'm going to go invading soon. That'll be me. Job done. Right. Advert for the TV. Ooh. Who would you ask and what would you choose? Blimey. Jeez, Pete, you don't have... Pick your questions. Are we just going to go with a beer theme? Is that what it's going to be? Booze?
A John Lewis Christmas advert, it never fails.
Yeah,
Well,
good point.
Debatable.
did you see
There has
that
been
one?
some years.
Do you see that one this Christmas with the old man who had to lift his kid up, his granddaughter up, to put the star on the Christmas tree? Did you see that?
No.
Aw, crying like a baby.
I didn't like it.
What?
I
It's
know.
like the most heartwarming thing ever. No wonder you didn't like it.
Didn't like it. My favourite one was the bear and the hare. Best
Who
one
did
ever.
that? Who
Remember
did
the
that
bear
one?
and the John Lewis Christmas advert? It was the bear
John
and the hare,
Lewis.
and it was the one where they used the Lily Allen "Somewhere Only We Go" theme tune, and the hare gave the bear an alarm clock to wake him up so he didn't hibernate through Christmas. Oh,
See, the best thing for me about the John Lewis advert is that every year there's this furniture shop in Llandudno, in North Wales. I think it's in North Wales, Llandudno. Okay. Anyway, and every year they make a parody of it. And like, you know, there was that penguin one. Like, there was that really kind of cute penguin one. They just did a parody of it with this really tall guy dressed in a penguin suit and just like throwing himself into the dock and stuff like that. It's really bizarre. But my favourite thing about that is waiting to see the parody that comes from that random furniture shop.
I must miss them all. I don't watch TV, so I
Does
miss them
anyone
all.
watch normal TV anymore?
No, we've
know,
just
it
got
is
Netflix.
You always go for something completely random, but that everyone remembers. Well, I don't know. This is probably predating Tom and Christy, but there was a particular advert, and Tom knows how good my singing is. So
Yep.
if I went, "Oh, body farm," do you remember
Yeah,
that?
I do.
Everyone remembers the body form advert.
Well, there you go. See, everybody remembers it. It doesn't matter what it was about. Even with my crap singing, everyone remembers it. So have something that everyone remembers, even if it's a really random product.
That's why Sit It Bang is so famous, isn't it? Just had a random shouty guy.
Bang! And the church is gone.
Hi, I'm Barry Scott.
Barry Scott.
I said you buy one, you get one free. Do you remember that
His
one? Bog
name
off.
is not actually Barry Scott. He is an
it not?
actor playing someone called Barry Scott, which
his
totally
name then?
ruined it for me. Yeah, seriously, he's not. His name isn't Barry. I can't remember what his name is, but he's not called Barry Scott. But he says
he
it was
was
such
Barry Scott.
exactly. He says it was such power that you assume that not only is he called Barry Scott, but also he's got some sort of authority to tell us why it's such a good cleaner.
That's why
We're just crushing people's dreams here.
Barry Scott.
I know. Sorry to ruin that illusion for everyone.
I can't think of one, Pete. I'll message you my answer, mate. I can't think of one. Next question. Roger White. What's he got here? We all know Wales is God's country, but where is your God's country and why? There is only one God's country, Roger. We all know. Wales is a good second, along with a few other places. But there really is only one. There can be only one.
One that's so amazing you left it and went to live in England.
Because that's where the work was. But I'm moving back. I will be moving back. As long as, well, I'm not even going to get political, but as long as things don't go horrendous, I'll move back to Scotland at some point, definitely. Graham, what about you? Where is your ideal place? Because the two druids are blatantly going to say Wales.
You know what? I talk about this a lot with anybody who's can be bothered to listen to me. I am very, very proudly British because I love the fact we have so much in our whole country. You know, and,
me too. Yeah.
And there are things I love about England. There are things I love about Wales, and the things I love about Scotland, and there's things I love about actually Ireland as a whole. I know Ireland isn't all our country, but and there is beauty and incredible places to be found in both of them, in all those things. Interesting enough, so I was in Wales this summer riding with a buddy, and we were chatting all day, every day on our intercoms because we just talk incessantly to each other. And the year before, we'd been in the Highlands in Scotland, and we were saying, if you had to choose between the roads we were in Snowdonia, particularly northern Wales, between that and the roads in the Highlands, where would you choose? And we said we really couldn't put even a fag paper between the roads, as in the joy of riding the roads.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
If we had to talk about scenery,
still Scotland.
well, when it came to the scenery, the only thing we could put between them was the colours in Scotland. Because it had more variety in colour, and that's mainly, I think, mainly down to the heather. So
yeah.
So just in terms of the colour, but then if you drive, you can ride through the peaks or the lakes or Yorkshire, and find beauty in those places as well. So I think we are, as a nation, incredibly lucky to have what we have in such a small place.
Aye, I'm 100% with you on that. I'm fiercely proud of being Scottish, but I consider myself British, definitely. Absolutely. And I've been gobsmacked by like the Peak District and the Lake District. Like the amount of times I've just steamed through that on the motorway and never actually gone off onto the single track roads and the small B roads and stuff. And I just started to do that at the end of 2019 and was just blown away. And I was like, right, next year I'm going to devour all this. And yeah, we know how that went. What about you guys then? Is it going to be Wales, or is there anywhere else that tickles your fancy?
Well, after Graham's beautiful answer, quite patriotic and beautiful
Wales!
answer,
Wales!
it really was. The only other place that I have been which has come close scenery-wise for myself, for riding through, is Italy. Especially like the Tuscany area. But if I was going to choose between Wales and Italy, it's of course going to be Wales. Cymru and Beth all the way. So
lovely, isn't it?
It's. I just like. Actually, I can't really follow Graham's answer. I think he put it so eloquently. That was a spot on answer. We're very lucky, not just Wales, British Isles, Britain. We're very lucky to have the degree of change that we can. Like the scenery can change within a few kilometers of each other. It's we are lucky. We're really lucky.
Definitely, yeah. It is crazy how Like, not just the scenery, but the people, the accents, the culture, everything can change within 40, 50 miles. In fact, even less than that at times. It just changes so much throughout the UK. I don't know about you guys, but the more you travel, does it make you appreciate what you've got here? That's how I found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I find myself wanting to find out more about the UK. The more I travel elsewhere, I think, God, we've got places that will rival, maybe not weather, but we've got places that will rival in terms of scenery and culture and stuff right here, and history right here in our own sort of country.
Even in Wales, like I'm quite patriotic about being Welsh.
No,
and
you're not.
I really, that doesn't come across. And even myself, there's so many places in Wales that I still haven't travelled to, and that really upsets me. And the fact that, my children go to a Welsh school, so they speak and will speak fluent Welsh. I don't speak fluent Welsh. I pick up on things here and there, and I did it in school. But, that really upsets me that I don't even speak the language and that I haven't even been, like North Wales. There's so many areas in North Wales that I haven't been to, let alone thinking about, where I'm going to travel around the world. We should be concentrating on where we're traveling, where we live, what's local, what's ours. It's crazy.
I kind of think maybe this year there might be a lot of that. There might be a lot of domestic sort of holidaying and travel. It might be focused on that, because I don't see too much sort of European and international travel going on for quite a while. So who knows? We'll see. Tom, what about yourself?
Explore, isn't it?
It is, definitely.
Well, I live in Wales. I'm not Welsh. I came to university here and never left because I met my wife, who is very Welsh. But I got to be honest, I would pick Canada.
Would you?
I adore Canada.
Because it looks like Scotland. Yeah, I get you. I understand that.
yeah. But the thing I like about Scotland is that it is lovely, and it has the real kind of difference in weather between very hot and very cold. But in Scotland, you
hot
do
rain
tend to get
and cold rain. Yeah.
Yeah, you do tend to get a lot of wet in between it being very cold and very hot. It's very wet. Whereas I think with Canada, if it's winter, I want it to be properly winter.
Yeah.
Deep snow, clear blue skies, lovely snow. And that's what you get in Canada. You get gorgeous summers, you get gorgeous winters, and you don't get 6 months of drivel in between like you do in Wales and Scotland and most of England. And I think that, for me, Graham will tell you, I'm not a big fan of being cold. I'm not a big fan of being massively hot either. But if I'm going to be cold, I want to be in I don't want to be wet and cold. I love the fact that in Canada, you can have deep snow and it's a dry cold, and that's okay. I like that. And I think the thing is, I do love the scenery you get in Wales and things like that. But when I go to Canada, it just makes me think it's an exaggerated version of what you get in Wales. Everything's bigger. The roads are longer. The people as well, just nicest people. In the majority of kind of cases in Canada, Canada is. I would be living in Canada if my wife would let me.
I loved British Columbia, the Yukon, and I know Alaska's not Canada, but I wanted to get up to that point as well. I had to turn around in the Yukon, but like BC and Yukon were just everything I thought Canada was going to be. That's what it was there. The middle bit, the prairies, was just flat nothing for mile upon mile, day after day of nothing. Right, next question then. Steve Wright. Hi from New Zealand. Looking forward to the new show, guys, and the best of luck. Is the show... I think we've covered this. Is the show going to be just UK-based or a bit international as well? Well, you said it will be international. It will be
international in terms of you can watch it anywhere in the world. It was going to be more international than it's going to be in terms of where we film. We have to take into account what's going on at the moment. And that has meant that there are some things we were hoping to do, and we will still do them, but we'll push them, we'll probably push them onto season 2. Season 1 will be far more UK based, simply because we can't at the moment make plans and trust that they will stay firm. So we have to kind of play around with that. So, but yeah, you can watch it anywhere you like.
Cool. So you'll be able to watch it in New Zealand. You'll be able to watch it via the Dunlop website?
On the Dunlop website, yeah. Is
that Dunlop UK, or is that going to be the Dunlop International? Do you know?
It's on the Dunlop, definitely Dunlop UK. But you can still log on to the UK site from anywhere in the world.
There you go, Steve.
I don't know whether it's going on to the international or not, if I'm honest.
Okay. We will let you know as soon as we know. We're looking about August, aren't we? That it'll.
Yes, towards the end of August. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just keep your eye on the show social media and all of our social media. There'll be links down below to follow everybody involved, and we'll keep you up to date with progress. Chris Murphy, hi all. Can you give us an insight into the show? Folks, I don't actually read the questions beforehand, so they're as much of a shock to me as they are to you. So we may well have covered some things as they come up. Can you give us an insight into the show? Will it just be bike reviews, or are you delving deeper into the bike world? New technology and the way bikes are built and designed from tyres to seats. I think you covered that earlier, Tom.
I think we covered it. I mean, in terms of specific things about how bikes are built and things like that, we're certainly doing planning a feature around sorry, something just randomly popped up on my screen. Go away. There you go. We're actually going to be hopefully building something in the show. Not that I don't want to tell the audience what it is, but you guys can't know what it is. The whole point is it's a bit of a surprise for you as well. So we're actually going to be doing some building. We're featuring some bikes that are kind of not quite custom, but small, UK manufacturers, and we'll have a look at how they've built their bikes and designed their bikes and things like that.
You're thinking about the UK canoe, the UK rowing thing, aren't you?
I'm not, Bruce.
You are.
I'm really not.
Tom. As soon as I posted on my Instagram about the Around the UK rowing challenge, Tom was straight on the phone.
No, I was on the phone about something to do with the show.
Is Tom doing it with you, Bruce?
He is now, yes. He's just said, he's just committed on... I haven't even said I'm doing it. I did one post and I've had so many people going, are you going to row around the UK? I'm like, I have never ridden on the water in my life. I think
it's a fantastic challenge, both of you. Well done.
I want to do the Atlantic. I genuinely want to row the Atlantic. I genuinely want to do that.
I'll tell you this. If I could get fit enough, I'll do the Channel and I will do round
it's
the UK.
It's only about 8 miles.
Yeah, but you've got to start somewhere, Jesus. And I'll do round. I will not do the Atlantic.
Graham, me and you are just
it's massively dangerous.
Yeah, we can be the kind of land-based.
Yeah, we'll just.
Well done.
Yeah, we'll have like banners and beer, and we'll stay on the land. Yeah, and those idiots can go on the water because I am not going anywhere near any water.
I think we're going to sign it. We're going to do 4s and we're going to do the Atlantic. Yeah, awesome. You heard it here.
4s, yeah, all of
it. Next one, Ian Preston. What's your favourite biking gadget? Oh, that's a good one. Biking gadget. Oh, I like my gadgets. Biking gadget.
Mine's not very gadgety, but it's a game changer, and it's heated gloves.
Okay. Yeah. Heated kit.
I get really cold really easy, and my poor little hands, So
you prefer heated gloves over handlebar, heated grips?
Oh, shut up, Tom. I want gloves, all right?
Yeah, shut up, Tom.
I took
What's
control
wrong with
over my car.
gloves?
That's brilliant.
All right, okay, all right. I changed my answer. Heated handlebar grips are the game changer for me. Is that better?
Well, I was just asking whether
You're on your own, mate. You're on your own.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm just going to keep digging my little hole over
Yeah,
here.
look at Graham just sat in the corner like that. Keep him quiet.
I did say, before I started, it's not very, gadgetry in the wizardry gadgetry world, but, it's a game changer, is having warm hands.
Heated kit is a proper... It's a game changer, but it spoils you. Because as soon as you get heated gloves and your hands aren't cold, you start thinking, my body's cold now, or my feet are cold. And for me, it just
heated suit.
Well, yeah, you end up like that, don't you? You're just like cocooned in this electric blanket thing to go riding in a bike.
Might as well just stay inside.
Yeah,
you definitely get spoiled when Tom and I rode up to northern point in Europe in NorCap. It was the first time I'd ever ridden with anything heated, and we had heated vests,
wow.
gilets.
Yeah.
Oh, just you think, why have I been?
I know.
Why have I been so tough for the last 15, 20 years? Going, I don't care. I don't care about the cold. I can just go with it. No, be warm. It's so easy.
The best bit about those though was the heat round, because it went right up into the neck, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you actually just got a nice little warm feel around your neck.
They're amazing. Yeah.
It's true though, isn't it? Because the years I went through riding on my Gixxer with not even heated grips, like I'm not putting heated grips on that, and I was riding all through the year, even, like 4 o'clock in the morning going in and out of work, it's minus blooming 8, minus 10, snowing and ice, and you're riding, and now I'm like, it's only about 4 degrees out there, it's a bit nippy, and you think, God, what sort of softy have I become? Right. Bike and gadget for me. Cool, blimey. Bike and gadget. What gadgets do I use?
I was going to say, you've tested quite a few recently, haven't you, Bruce?
Well, I mean, what gadgets do I have on the bike? I suppose I've got like the dash cam type things, but I mean, I don't really consider them gadgets. Are they gadgets? Like dash cams for a motorbike?
They're not exciting gadgets, but they're gadgets.
No, it's not. It's just I've got that for when I get in an accident, which tends to happen quite a bit.
Let's be honest. Any gadget that is about your safety is never an exciting gadget.
Yeah, it's a bit beige, isn't it? It's a little bit boring.
What's your gadget then, Tom?
I'm going to do the same as what I think Graham will probably say, which is intercoms.
I had two answers. One was intercoms, definitely, because I love being able to talk when you're riding.
Yeah.
But the other one, and far be it for me to kind of talk about adventuring rather than just pure motorbiking, but the Helinox chair. And I know that's a brand thing, but a Helinox type of chair. After years of touring and traveling, and basically either sitting on my metal, generally for me, metal mule box or whatever it is, or on a little kind of tripod chair, the Helinox camping chair, or now many equivalents are available. Doesn't have to be Helinox. Just that, I mean, genuinely, for me as I got older, when I get to the end of a day's riding, my back hurts. To sit back and go,
yeah,
I get that. So light was just that there, and also then an equivalent bed as well.
A friend of mine, a couple of years ago was at. I was on the Adventure Zone with Nathan Millward, and a couple of mates came to the show to say hello and have a look at the bikes and stuff. And one of my mates bought one of them, and we were all ripping 7 bells out of him for spending the amount of money that he did on this chair. And then we went away on a trip, and he pulled this chair out, and it's like a lazy boy, isn't it? He was just chill. He's a wee lad anyway, ex-bootneck, ex-marine. So he's a wee lad, and this thing was just like a lazy boy for him. And we're all sat on the ground, uncomfortable. And he's like, who's laughing now?
Well, but those
Okay,
things
you win
look so
that.
small.
Yeah.
I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3", 17 stone. But those chairs, to be fair, if you're on soft ground, you're sitting on the ground because the legs just sink straight in. So you need something underneath it. But yeah, they were a proper, in terms of the après ride, they were a game changer for me.
And they do a wide version now as well.
Now I can say this because I would need one too. Is that the 2-man version? Is that like the double?
No,
double?
they just do what they call the XL version, which
All right.
the guys at the
For the
Adventure
Harley
Bike
Riders.
Shop, well, I had one and it got nicked
Oh,
at a bike event, annoyingly, which isn't very common really.
Awesome.
Normally bikers don't do that. It got nicked, and as a thank you, as a kind of, just because they're great guys, the guys at the Adventure Bike Shop sent me a new one, which was the XL version, and then they put a embroidered Geek Media into it as well for me. So
nice.
I got a full-on custom extra large one now.
Up yours, bike thieves. I've just been thinking, my gadget, I think I get a lot of comments on this, and I'm not paid by them or anything like that. They just sent me one for free. It's that visor cat thing. That bit of rubber that you put over your glove and you can wipe your visor with. Yeah. It's simple and it just does a great job. I don't faff about with any of the cleaner or change the sponges or any of that. I just use it to wipe my visor when I'm riding, and it's
That's a
great.
good one. That is a good one.
Does it work better
it's
than
good.
the ones that, because you get some gloves with them kind of built in, don't you?
Yeah, you do. I've never found any gloves that did as good a job as the visor cat until, see there, I've got the Keis G701 heated gloves. I've got them, and they have a little blade. It's only a tiny inch-long blade, and that's really good. I found that really good at clearing the visor. But that's the first sort of inbuilt glove one I found that does anywhere near as good a job. There'll be a video coming out on that soon. I haven't filmed it, but there will be a vid coming out on that soon. No usernames left. With all of your combined travelling experience covering countries and continents in the vast wilderness of outback Russia or America, imagine if you had seen a Bigfoot-type mysterious being. Would, in your mind, Bigfoot have a hairy human style... Oh my God, I've just read the rest of this. Sheesh. Wow. Thanks for this one. Would, in your mind, Bigfoot have a hairy human style dick or a lipstick style dog unit? Thanks, Paul. Wow.
First of all, Paul.
Repeat the question.
No, he can't repeat the question.
Maybe I should start pre-reading these questions.
I honestly didn't hear the question. I'd like him to repeat it, please.
Would Bigfoot have a human style appendage or a lipstick style dog appendage?
What, in my mind, or?
Yes. Yeah. Obviously, it's something that everyone thinks about a lot. Does anyone want to answer that?
What do you think, Bruce?
I think Bigfoot would have. Well, we're all apes, aren't we? So I think it would just have just a tadger, what a tadger looks like, but probably a bit hairy. I don't imagine they manscape it.
I think if he's got big feet,
That is such a female answer.
Bigfoot, big,
Personality,
apparently.
Obviously.
Big arms.
Big arms.
Big ego. That's what Bigfoot had.
Big shoes.
Yeah, he was a
So
shit.
full of himself.
Never called back. Cool.
He didn't. I felt amused.
Tom, Graham, do you want to comment on that, or?
I'm not sure I can add anything to that, really.
You see the caliber of my patrons. Yeah. Wow.
Well, yeah, it's fine.
Dunlop, Ferridax, really sorry. Neil Burton. Hi, folks.
Suddenly you're not going to get any. Suddenly those tyres that you were going to give away aren't happening.
This bike show's not happening now, yeah. Hi, folks. This is Neil Burton. Hi, folks. Looking forward to the show. Question to all. How much danger would you be willing to put yourself in for the sake of making the show? And what's the most dangerous thing you've done on a motorcycle until now? I'll do anything, Tom. Don't care.
Literally took the words right out of my mouth. I'll whatever. I'll shoot out of a cannon if you want me to, as long as I can get my mug on telly. I'm there.
The most dangerous thing I've ever done on a motorcycle was on a trip with Graham. We were doing Dakar Dreams with Danny, John Jules as well, and we got to the no man's land between.
Western Sahara and Mauritania.
Western Sahara and Mauritania.
Yeah.
And the year before I'd gone out there and done it as well. And, you know, you go through this kind of big no man's land and there's burnt out cars and there's all sorts of things. And, you know, you hear all these things about there's loads of mines out there if you go off the beaten path. And for some reason, Graham and Danny decided that the cameraman should probably lead the way through that bit.
That's cool.
They were like, "Oh, you've been through it before, Tom. Lead the way."
Exactly. You knew where you were going.
But for anyone that's not been, it's like you come down through Morocco and Western Sahara, and that's lovely, isn't it? It's adventure, but it's sanitised. There's roads, people are nice, it's fine. You get to that border, and the Western Sahara side is lovely, no problem, it's great. And I remember the border guard even shook my hand and said, "Bon chance, you know, good luck." And they open this border, and then it's just like the road stops, it's sand, it looks like something out of Mad Max, and everything changes, doesn't it? You go down like a sand, if you can call it a street, you go down like a sand street, and then when I was there, it forked. So you've got a track going off left and a track going right. Nothing in the middle except it's all just sand. It's a desert.
And there's
no signs.
It's the right way to go. And you know that one of them is where all the smugglers hang out, and one of them is...
Well, I went right, which turned out to be the wrong one, allegedly.
I was going to say, I remember it was left.
Yeah, I went right and then ended up getting stuck in a minefield, and that was fun. So, yeah. I wouldn't advise. What did you think of Mauritania?
We just went through it so quickly, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, the travel advice we got was don't go there. So, but if you have to go there, just make your way through. I remember Bruce. Yeah, the very first time we met, and we talked about this at some length, because you went a slightly different way to us. And that, you had, as I recall, quite a bad experience there, didn't you?
At Rosso, I sort of headed south the short way, and then rather than do that sort of, was it 40 or 50 mile off road to the border and then into Senegal, I went left along the road to Rosso, and then
which is the way we went as well. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Well, I had a bad time at Rosso. Yeah.
Well, I mean, luckily at Rosso, we didn't. We didn't have a bad time, but we wanted to go the off-road way on the corrugations. Mm-hmm. We had such bad problems with our bikes. We had to make I had to make an executive decision not to go because we had lots of problems. But we didn't have a bad crossing at Rosso. Luckily, we didn't have a bad problem. But Mauritania itself, we just blasted through. You know, we kind of stuck to the main roads, wild camped for 2 nights. No,
did you?
We stayed in the tent first night and then wild camped.
The first night we literally went over the border and went straight to this kind of camp. We hired a kind of Bedouin tenty thing, didn't we? And then we got up super early next morning, down because they always say that when you get south of the capital, it gets safer. So we were kind of like blast it down through past the kind of capital, Nouakchott. Yeah. And then didn't we kind of went right off into the kind of sand dunes and camped, and then in the morning some kids were like, this is the minefield, right? Do you remember that? And then
we did. Yeah.
And then we had to drive out following our exact track that we drove in.
Yes. Yeah,
that's all I got told was do not go off the road because it's mined everywhere. And I was just like, this is not what I expected the Sahara to be like. I expected to be riding through the dunes and camping in the sand. And instead, I just got robbed by the police every blooming 100 metres.
My first experience of terrifying spiders in because on the first time I went down through there, we got south of the border and we south of Nouakchott and camped, and we were in this kind of weird field thing, and all these local kids came over, and there were all these little holes in the mud floor, quite small things, and these kids were coming over and showing us these huge bugs they'd found, like big kind of stick insects that were like half the length of their arm, and they go, look at this, da, 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 da. And we're all like, oh, da, 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 da. And then this tiny spider came out of this hole, and all the kids just legged it. At which point you're like, wait a sec, if they're running, when they've had all these big things on their hand and they're running because of that. So I spent the whole night in the centre of my tent like this. I'm really good with creepy crawlies, aren't I, Guy?
Oh, you love them. Yep.
Yeah.
Would you say that's the most dangerous thing that you've done then is Mauritania? On a bike, I mean.
Depends whether you mean stupid, bad or...
I would say like just mortal danger. Just like if you screw this up, it's not going to end well.
Yeah, I think that's, for me, certainly the first time I went was far less, was far scarier for various reasons, but far too long to get into that now.
Yeah, I want to go back. I definitely want to go back and conquer the demons. Definitely, I'll do Africa. One day I will go back and do it.
Yeah, I think we had, in many respects, although we had lots of mechanical problems, outside of that we had a reasonably easy journey through West Africa. I was far more scared 2 years beforehand going through North Africa, through Libya and Egypt, because that was only 2 or 3 months. With hindsight, we were 2 or 3 months ahead of the Arab Spring. Well, that through Tunisia and Libya and Egypt. And then the Arab Spring basically followed us.
Wow.
We were in March. The Arab Spring then followed us that spring.
Yeah.
Down through Tunisia, you had the bomb attacks, the beaches, and through Libya. So it wasn't scary at the time, but kind of with hindsight, you think actually that really was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Christy's had enough. We've bored her with Africa. Well, I'll tell you what, we can come back to that one for Christy when she returns. Next question is Trevor Mould. A question to the guests: If you two were to follow in Bruce's footsteps and travel around the world on 2 wheels, has he told you about this trip yet? I get all this abuse all the time. Which way would you go? East to west or west to east, and why?
I'd go the same way as long way around. I think after a huge amount of difficult terrain and things like that, it's nice to know that at the end of it you've got the nice easy kind of Canada, USA, in terms of the riding, so you never, if you do it the other way, I think you'll go through that bit feeling a bit bored for a start, not really appreciating it, and spending your whole time worrying about the far more difficult stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas
Nothing's that much different when you get to the States. It's a slightly different culture, but it's all the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not Tom. I think I'd go
east
or west. Go east, but a slightly different route to the long way group, long way gang. Because if I could, I'd love to go through Iran. If I could,
yeah.
Everything I read about it just makes me think it's somewhere I'd love to go to if I
Absolutely.
could. And then also through the stands.
Yeah.
So Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, just again, I've heard just such amazing things about it. And then I'm trying to remember, does that then take me to Mongolia?
Yeah.
But and then maybe pick up more of the Mongolia route. So Yeah, I think almost my ideal route would be kind of to follow the Monzo Enduro route, but with the stands in the middle, kind of east west, and then go down to South America, over to Africa, and back up.
I'm the same as you, Graham. I really want to do the stands. I'm gutted I missed that out on my trip. I'd love to go back and do the stands. And the old Mongol rally, I had a young couple on here, Paul and Holly, and they did the Mongol rally on the little Sinus 125s, this 125 terrains. And Holly literally just passed her CBT so that she could do the Mongol. And they went and did it. And then I've had Roxy, Round the World Roxy on. Roxana, Polish lass that lives in Glasgow now. She's doing it on a 1999 Fireblade. So
That's
she's
right,
done
yeah.
she's done all the stands and everything on the Fireblade, and I'm like, I want to do that. I've got to do that. So watch this space. Christy, you missed out earlier. What's the most dangerous thing you've done on a motorbike until now? Bearing in mind that Tom's listening.
Everyone's implying by this thing that I'm going to make you do massively dangerous things on the show, and they're right.
I got to be honest, I'm going to sound like the boring one of the group now, but compared to the stories that you guys have just told, there's really nothing, life-threatening or anything that I've been like, oh my God, this is just like the worst case scenario I've ever been in. I mean,
have you had a night out in Carnarvon?
There's been some incidents where I've thought, oh dear, that could have gone a bit gnarly, but compared to the actual the places that you guys have been and the actual and factors that you've experienced, there's nothing it's quite actually boring with me, really. There's nothing I've done which I've thought, oh my God, there's like I said, there's been some little scenarios, but nothing too taxing. I'm waiting. I mean, obviously we got the show to do, so I might be able to, after the show, you can ask me and I'll be like, oh yeah, there was that time when, I rode a bike and I did a front flip and then went into a cannon and shot out of it.
You're doing the Isle of Man, aren't you? You're doing the Isle of Man one.
I'll take that on piece of piss, that's fine.
I had the Chasing the Racing podcast lads, Dom Herbertson and Chrissy Rouse. I had them on the podcast. And I have committed myself to doing, the next time there's a TT, I've committed myself to doing a pillion lap with Dom around the TT circuit, and I'm also doing a BSB pillion lap with Chrissy Rouse when that happens. So, if you want, if you're
never do pillion on
we can arrange that.
Oh.
Tom, if you're up for it. Christy, if you're up for it.
Yeah, that can
I'm
be
sure.
my... Yeah.
If we can sort it out, I'm sure Dom would be willing to have you on the back of the bike and do a lap of the TT circuit if you want.
I ride fantastic pillion. I really do.
Honestly,
I obviously ride good, as well. But as pillion goes, I am.
That's the trailer.
I honestly am. I am amazing at it.
Right,
I'm a
Dom.
good pillion passenger, aren't I? Great.
I hate it. I hate going pillion.
Tom, I can imagine you're a nightmare. Graham, I bet he's a nightmare, isn't he?
I think it had more to do with the fact that he's 17 stone and my 20.
Very considerate pillion. There's just a lot of you.
I'm a joke then.
You've got a lot of love to give, Tom. Much like myself, we've got a lot of love to give, mate. Dom, if you're watching this or listening to this, drop me a line, mate. We'll make this happen. We'll make it happen. Next one, Tony Rolls. Question to the brains of the outfit, or all of you if you have an opinion. Don't know which one that is. Will road racing be featuring at all? Everyone knows about the TT in Northwest 200, but the smaller Irish Southern 100 would be gagging for some of the spotlight. I'm sure an independent racer would let you follow them for a day. Good luck on the show. Ooh. Are we doing anything like that at all?
We are working on doing some stuff with racing. It's not road racing in this series. It's track racing. We obviously are looking at a kind of a feature about the TT, but obviously the TT isn't going to run this year. So it's a far more kind of in-depth look at the history of the TT and things like that. But we'll be out there on the Isle of Man, riding the road circuit as anyone can do without, taking the mick with it. It's certainly something that we would like to see and do in future series, but it won't be in this coming series. But certainly, if they want to get in touch and we can talk about it for series 2, love to.
Awesome. Cool. So if there's any racers out there that fancy it, either drop me a line or drop Tom a line via the Motorbike TV show, links down below, via their social media, and we'll make it happen. That's you committed now, Tom. Hope you know that.
I seem to be committing to an awful lot. Apparently, I'm rowing around the country.
No, the Atlantic. The Atlantic.
No, I told you the Atlantic.
The UK one is a warm up, but the main one is the Atlantic.
Oh, great!
I haven't even mentioned this to my wife yet. If she actually listens to this podcast, she'll be going, "What are you doing?" Next question, Stuart Bailey. How do you manage the work-life balance when working with motorcycles daily and riding for pleasure? Is there any overlap? Ooh, that's a good one, actually. I don't know how you guys find it, but for me, when this wasn't my job, it was like I did it for the love of it. I rode a lot more. Now, I'm lucky if I ride once a week at the moment. I'm literally editing and just dealing with the business side of things pretty much 7 days a week. And it's like you have to force yourself out there to go and ride now.
Now, certainly for me, a number of people go, "Oh God, you've got the best job in the world. You spend all day playing on bikes." I don't. I spend my day filming other people play on bikes. I barely ride now, and it is a shame. And I try to do it when I can, but like anything, when it's your job, it changes how you feel about it, and you can still enjoy it, but it becomes a very different way of enjoying it. And actually, I feel that I'm incredibly lucky to have the job I have, and I love what I do, but it has changed my relationship with motorcycling.
Mm. For the better or worse?
I don't know. It's no longer a hobby. It's work. And it's. I sometimes get quite jealous because I'm watching. I'm filming other people playing on these amazing bikes, and what I really want to do is get on the bike and ride it myself. Yeah. And I try and ride as much as I can. Certainly with. Adventure Bike TV, we do a Tale from Trail segment where I go on a bike with them. But yeah, I find myself appreciating the kind of technology of a bike now a bit more. I think for me, it's hard to express really. I don't quite know how to. I still absolutely love bikes. But my relationship has just changed, and I'm not sure whether for the better or worse, or just changed, I think.
I focused this last year. I mean, this last year's, you can't measure anything off this last year, can you? Because it's been such, in our lifetimes, it's been such a unique occurrence, hasn't it? Hopefully a unique occurrence. But this year, I've focused mostly on bike reviews, because bike reviews get the views, they help you grow the channel, and because it's my first year going for it, I've really wanted to try and grow the channel as much as I can. So it's just been bike review, kit review, all this sort of stuff. But that's not what I want to do. My channel is the whole live your life thing. It's about getting out there and doing stuff. Not always to do with bikes, but just this year it has been, So for me, this year has been like, okay, I've done that. We've grown a bit. We've got a good following. We've got some good traction. But next year, I'm wanting to try and promote the sort of live your life thing, more of what I want to do. You know, I want to ride more, I want to meet more people, I want to travel more, especially after this shitbag of a last year. I want to get out as soon as we can and start living life again, you know. So it's been a good year in terms of I've had a lot of manufacturers coming on board, and it's been great to work with them and get all these different bikes. It's not just what I want me and the channel to be about, you know. So it's been good, but I want to try and grow that and ride a bit more next year as well. This year.
Yeah.
I guess for me the situation's a bit different because I have a full-time job doing something completely different. So there was a not so much in the last 12 months because we said much earlier we haven't been filming this that much, but it can be quite a balancing act to try and to fit in. Yeah, if we're filming, I don't know, for argument's sake, you know, we might do 15 or 20 days of filming in a year, maybe a bit less sometimes. And actually, if you think about it, that's like the equivalent to your normal your allocation of holiday for the whole year. I do have to. Luckily, I work for myself, so and I have a very understanding business partner. I can kind of fit that in alongside the day job, and I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. So that was part of the reason why I decided to work for myself 23 years ago, was having flexibility and to be able to do these kind of things. So I'm very lucky in that respect. I think so. Unlike Tom, because I don't have to live and breathe it every single day, my passion and love for it is undiminished.
Yeah.
It just grows. I just want to do more.
Awesome. What about you, Christy?
Well, just echoing what you guys have said, really, you know, as soon as you turn any passion, love, hobby into a work, it does actually become work, and you get all the negative sides of that as well. For me personally, for the past couple of years, the hardest balance that I've come up against is have started a family, and also, you know, without throwing the gender card in, being mum as well. It's as soon as you become mum, obviously, and as soon as you become a parent, full stop, it isn't about gender. But you know, for me, being mum, everything has been just on the back burner. You know, my children are young and they do need me, and I have been there for them. So that it's now they're getting a bit older, that balance now is coming back around, and it's I'm really lucky that I've got a really supportive family who view biking not just as a hobby, you know, that it is actually work as well. And I'm very, very lucky that I've got people who understand that, and people who have got my back and who can help me so I can still get out there and ride and still be involved with it and in the community. But like anything, that balance, sometimes, you know, sometimes you feel guilty, don't you, when you actually think, oh, I'm going to do that, and it's not work, it is enjoyment, and it is away from the kids. And sometimes, you know, you can be a bit bogged down with that guilt of, should I be doing this? You know, should I just be doing, you know, parenting stuff and mum stuff? But at the end of the day, and especially with you, Bruce, you echo, like, you know, live your life. I am mum and I'm worker, but I'm still me as well. So
absolutely,
and part of me is bikes, and it always has been. So yeah, the balance is hard, but I think for me, family is the strongest part for me, and it's what enables me to still be able to be involved in it and out in it. You know, and as selfish as it sounds, once I get on a bike, the guilt kind of slips away a little. Just a tiny bit, you know, and then as soon as I walk back through the door, I'm mum again, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not being funny, I'm a cool mum. I'm a badass mum, so...
I bet you are. Now you're going to be on the telly now as well. Happy days.
Oh, my boy's probably going to just be embarrassed about me. I don't blame him, really.
I was... when I did my trip and I was doing the whole YouTube thing as I went, I did think to myself, because my boy was... Oh, how old's my boy? 15. He was 15 when I left. And I did think to myself, oh God, this poor, you know, if this went big, I didn't know what was going to happen with the trip, but I did think to myself, he might get some stick, from his mates in school. But the total opposite happened. His mates were all following the trip. So he was like, oh, all his mates were doing were talking to him about my trip.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was.
It is a worry, like, you forget that when you have kids, it is about them as well. It genuinely is. And when my son is on his gaming calls and I burst in the room, kind of like do the lingo and, what are you doing, bro? What's happening? And he's just like, oh, I'm on a call, Mum. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I really am. And then, I did break into song, which is what I want to do.
Yeah, I break into song around my kids all the time.
Yeah, I should punish him, really. I should break into song. But, I know what you mean. You forget that their lives as well. And everything is online. Everything is so online now. Yeah. It's so accessible to them. Like, they are the online generation. And I forget that. I'm like, oh, you won't see this. He's not going to be... No one's going to know about this.
They will. Oh, yeah, they will.
Oh, yeah, totally. So, yeah. I agree with you.
I don't know, but I mean, if we can figure out if there's a big billboard opposite their school that I can get a big Motorbike TV promotional poster opposite his school, they'll love that, right?
Yeah, definitely. They'll love it. Love it.
They'll love it.
Next one then. Ashley Wright. Excuse me. Hi, everybody. Really looking forward to the show. Sorry, this is blowing smoke up my arse. I do apologise.
No, read it. We insist.
Sorry about this. I really think that having Bruce as part of the team will enhance the show. His endearing... Oh, this feels really weird. His endearing and genuine personality... Well, this is my wife writing this. Thank you, wife. His endearing and genuine personality will shine through and the viewers will adhere to that. Anyway, enough of that. Thanks, Ashley. Cheers. Question to the guests. What got you all into biking, and did anyone in particular have an influence on you?
We've been having a conversation about this today, haven't we, Greg?
So, when I was 15, I had no desire to ride a motorbike at all, not even the slightest. And a friend and I were trying to build a motorised go-kart. So we bought a friend's mum's. We used to call it the granny step-through moped. The old mopeds that had pedals, that's how you started it.
Yeah.
A little 50cc thing. And we were going to take the engine out and put it into a go-kart. And we rode it from our friend's house back to my mate's house, through our little country sleepy village, I don't know, half a mile. And, of course, we just took back roads and stuff. We shouldn't be riding it, but yeah, and that hooked me. And then suddenly I was hooked, and that was it. There was another one. I used to go and ride them up the local woods, and never looked back. That was it. That's what hooked me. Was a granny step-through moped.
Bosh.
That's awesome.
Christy, what about you?
Okay, so my biking influence came from my granddad, my papa, and when we were kids, we spent a lot of time over my nan and my papa's house, and my pop was just always tinkering with he had a Kawasaki GT550, and it was his bike, and he was always either just tinkering with it or maintaining it or doing little jobs on it. And so predominantly my childhood was sat watching him work on it, or down the garage with him whilst he was sort of doing maintenance on it, talking about bikes. And I just remember him and my nan would sort of pull up outside our house on it, and I'd just be out the window, just obsessed with this image of them riding up and pulling up, and my nan pillion, and they were in their 60s at this point. And I just remember looking at them and thinking, you badasses. I couldn't, as a child, there was nobody on this planet who was cooler than they were. And my pop, he rode well into his 80s. He's kicked his leg over a bike until his 80s, and he is just my biggest hero. And he is the guy that got me into biking for sure. I'm actually wearing his T-shirt tonight, as homage. He was just an amazing person, and spending so much time with him in bikes, and then that led on to things like we'd be watching, biking documentaries. Obviously, that evolved then into MotoGPs and things like that. It was just time spent with him was about bikes. Yeah. I'm so lucky that I had the coolest pop in the whole wide world. I really am, and he got me into it. So
you're right into your racing, aren't you? Is that right? You've got quite a love of racing.
I do. I do. And it goes across the board of whether it be following the MotoGP, I've been lucky that I've been, we saw years ago the Catalunya leg and the Mugello leg, and I've seen my hero as Valentino Rossi race. And it also goes to, dirt bikes and enduros as well. Locally where I live, I've been able to go and watch just the local boys, And I say just the local boys, and that's not a negative, because they are incredibly talented, in the local hare and hounds and enduro races. If it's a race, I'm there. I'm very competitive, and there's something about riding for glory, not just for enjoyment, that just excites me completely. I get absolutely buzzing for it. It's I've been very lucky that I've had a positive influence in my life, like my pop was, and I'm grateful he introduced me to bikes. So if I can be half a biker he was, then I'm all right.
Mega. Do you ever fancy doing a bit of the racing yourself?
Of course I do.
Stupid question.
I sit on it and I'm like, yeah, I reckon I'm good enough. I'm so fueled by ego, it's unbelievable. And when it boils down to it, the skill that and funny enough, I won't say where I was actually, but I was out walking somewhere and I was watching a little dude on his little bike, and just the raw talent and the skills that people possess just to race. It's a whole different ball game, isn't it? I know you riding for pleasure and just going out there and riding, and then riding for wins for racing. Yeah, I've got so much respect for people who do it. And yes, if I had my youth again, I would definitely have tried to get into it and have become a racer, because I'm obsessed with that feeling, what it must be like for them. It's amazing.
But like you said, though, they're almost like a different breed. Like the top flight, not even top flight racers, but anyone that does reasonably well racing, they're just a different breed. I used to, back in the day, I used to consider myself reasonably quick on the road. And one of my mates is a chap called Bob Collins. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's quite well known in the sort of bike industry, owns FWR tyres. And Bob sort of raced professionally. A few things happened in his career that lent him down a different path, but he entered the TT. And Bob was the fastest bloke I've ever, the fastest bloke I know on a bike, just insane quick. He entered the TT and he was literally at the bottom of that rung, and even he was saying, these lads are just a different breed. This step up once you get to the road racing at the TT, it's phenomenal.
And I don't even know. I don't know whether that's something that's just, whether it is learned or whether it is just almost like a genetic thing. I can't comprehend. It's that question. It is what is it that actually makes a winner? Because it is something completely out of this world. When I debate it all the time. What really makes a winner? Whether it is just something that it just is, or whether it is something that you can actually learn and work on. I'm more on the I just think it's in you. It's something that is just innate, and it's in you. And if you're, do you know what I mean? It's
totally.
Anyone can learn the
that can be
skills,
learned, if I'm honest.
I think anyone can learn the skills given the time and the right instructor. I think it comes down to whether you've got the bottle to push it to the edge.
That's what they do, isn't it?
They
don't even. I don't even think it's thinking. I think it's almost like breathing. It's just an innate, natural things, I think, to be a successful winner, and not even, like you say, Bruce, not even at like top level, like TT, GP, that level. I just think even like the enduro boys that I watch or used to watch up Aberbeeg, the winners of those, I'm like, Christ, you were so fast. You weren't even thinking, and it does become like a heartbeat, like a breathe, like a breath, like a natural thing.
And when you talk to them, they never ever say, I was just like firing on everything. It was like, wow. They're always saying it was just, you just get into this calm mental place where you just go through it. Even the TT guys, they're doing 200 mile an hour down these roads that are like 40 mile an hour speed limits. They're doing 200 mile an hour down it, and they all just say you just get into that flowing state of mind.
That's why I massively respect the Dakar guys. Because they're doing 110 mile an hour off road. Yeah. And you can see them, and their whole bodies are just kind of absorbing all of this. And I know how easy it is off road just to accidentally bin it because you just hit a bit of softer sand. And
I know. They're doing 100 miles an hour.
And I wind up my father-in-law because he's a massive footy fan, and I'm not a massive footy fan at all. And this great little video I saw online of this. I sent it to him, which is this Dakar rider who comes off full pelt and, goes flying, rolling head over heels, gets up, picks up his bike, smacks it with his fist to get the handlebars straight. Yeah. And then one leg jumps over, boom, he's off again. And then it cuts to this football player where another football player walks next to him and he just drops to the floor when he didn't even get touched.
It was like this year. Did you see? Was it Toby Price this year? One of them this year, one of the KTM boys, he buckled his wheel and he also crashed. So I don't think he broke his jaw, but his jaw was all split, and he's pulled out. I think it was in the Mali class, so no one can help you. And he's literally like kicking. When he gets to the end, he's kicking his front wheel to try and straighten it, and then takes his helmet off, and the doctor that comes round to check everybody is like, oh God, we need to stitch this back together. And then there was just
a different.
There was another one of them that split a tyre. Did you see that? He slit the tyre.
Cable tied it all back together, didn't he?
Cable tied and gaffer taped his back wheel together.
That was Toby Price.
Toby Price. And he still came like top 5 or top 6, certainly within the top 10 on that stage.
Yeah,
and it's like someone's taking an angle grinder to the back wheel.
It's also the thing that when you look at the race times and you look at kind of the independents that kind of enter, like your Simon Pavies and things like that, and I've ridden with Simon Pavey. He's not slow. No. I mean, I've seen him at full kind of battle riding. It's insane, But then you look at someone like his time, which is like, oh yeah, I managed to get through the stage in 11 hours. Mm-hmm. And then you look at the guy who won the stage and did it in 2. What?
Crazy. So sorry to bring this up again, but obviously I've had a little look at the old Atlantic crossing this year, the Talisker thing. And the guys that won it, 2 guys in a boat, they finished in something like 37 days, new world record. Well, there's still people who are just hitting the halfway point now. And yet these guys finished, 8 days ago? And you're just like, that's phenomenal,
crazy.
Isn't it?
It's crazy.
I'm sorry, did you say you wanted me and you to do this?
Well,
you're saying the world record is 31 days. There's people after 30 days who aren't at the halfway mark, and you want us to do this?
I am not the type of person that's competitive to that degree that thinks I'm going to win it. I just want to do it.
I am.
So if it took me 3 or 4 months, it'll take me 3 or 4 months.
I don't enter things if I'm not going to win it.
I would do it. I want to do it solo, but it's just if you do it solo, you can't row all the time, can you? So there's going to be times when the boat's not moving, and that really annoys me. So you're like, okay, do it in 2s and keep it moving.
I'm just still so happy that me and Graham are still going to be on land just supporting you. I'm just really happy that this is our role.
I reckon we do a Motorbike TV boat, and we do an around the UK 4s. That's what I think.
Won't see me in it.
Bad shoulder. Bad shoulder.
As I
I
said,
need to be
I
on
would
land.
genuinely be tempted to train to do the round the UK one. I would genuinely be tempted to do that.
I think that's a commitment, people. I think you've heard
I
it
would
here now.
I would not
That's
do the
a first.
Atlantic.
That's official.
I
Tom,
will
when does
100%
that?
commit to not doing the Atlantic.
When does the Around the UK air on Amazon Prime? When does that air?
I have no idea.
It's going to
And I
happen.
don't think
It's going to
I don't
happen.
think it's
You know it's going to
going
happen. Awesome.
Okay, but
Was-
every time I get knackered, I'm just going to go, oh, sorry, Bruce, you'll have to, I need to film this.
2 hours on, 2 hours
You'll have
off.
to do all the
No
rowing.
worries.
Yeah.
2 on, 2 off. No problem. Next question. Ashley, has everyone answered the last question? Can't even remember if everyone.
What was
Working
it?
life balance.
I don't think Graham did.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
did. Yeah.
Oh, no, you did. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was listening.
Next one, Ashley Wright. I think we're nearly done the Patreon and then we can move on to Insta. Ashley Wright. Hi, everybody. Really looking forward to the show. Oh no, that is the one we just answered. GRS Fleet Graphics. Looking forward to a decent motorcycle program on the telly box. Can we say this? Is this slander? Henry Cole just doesn't cut it for us modern day mature bikers. Cheers, guys. We'll do what we can. This is what I mean about I don't pre-read the questions.
Yeah.
D Simon 9S. Being in the USA, I've never seen any of your episodes. Is there a website or other internet service where I could watch your show, preferably for free? Well, we're not.
I'll tell you this: he hasn't seen it because we haven't made it yet.
We haven't even filmed it yet. But like we said at the start, it will be available on Amazon Prime in the States and the UK. Is that right?
Yeah, and Germany, but
And
just
Germany
a little bit later in
eventually.
Germany.
But if you go onto the Dunlop website, you
I
will
should
be
really
able
be
to.
actually. Wait a sec. I'm gonna.
Have you got a Dunlop cap, a Dunlop t-shirt, Dunlop sunglasses?
See, that was what I was doing earlier, but I couldn't find my Dunlop stuff.
There you go.
There we
I should've
go.
put that there from the start.
So anyone that doesn't have Amazon Prime for whatever
Exactly.
reason,
Graham, these are your new tyres.
Oh, fantastic. Lovely. I did wonder.
At least you've got some.
then
I
if you head to the Dunlop website, you'll be able to
little
watch it.
pit bike.
Next question. Darren Phillips. With the progress, here we go, I like this one. With the progress of EV motorcycles being fairly slow but steady, do you see the future of EV motorbikes going to get better with more, being similar to the current styles of internal combustion motorbikes and cheaper to buy and insure? So let me reread that again. With the progress of electric motorbikes being fairly slow and steady, do you see the future of electric bikes going to get better with more being similar? So do you think electric bikes are going to reach the stage where they're basically comparable to petrol bikes? Cheaper to buy and insure. Go on, Tom.
I got my hand up for this one. I am a complete convert to electric power.
Me too.
Not just with motorbikes, cars as well. I've got an electric car on order that's going to replace my current car in June.
Loaded.
No, business lease cars.
Oh, yeah. It's the way to go.
And I know that, for instance, Sam and Claire, who present our other motorbike show, Motorbike TV, with Graham, they're really into it. They've actually got their own separate business called Volta, which is a kind of all about future positive and future technologies and stuff like that. And I just think it's one thing that really frustrates me about manufacturers when they're talking about their electric bikes and they're talking about their electric cars is they always talk about the green credentials. Mm-hmm. Now, and then of course you get all these people going, oh, well, it's not as green as you think it is because think about the carbon footprint of all the, and of course at the moment, because the infrastructure isn't in place to, to make it terribly efficient, to make the batteries, et cetera. But as that infrastructure improves, then of course, all of it tends to get a lot better, and you tend to find that, it's better for the environment. But I don't understand. No petrol head has ever gone, I will buy this bike or buy this car because it's good for the environment. they have an amazing ability in terms of speed and performance, and they need to talk about that more. I mean, I'll give you an example because it's more from the car world, because I think the car world is very much leading the race in terms of electric vehicles. But do you know what the fastest? Well, I'll just tell you. The fastest accelerating 0 to 60 car at the moment is the Dodge Charger Demon version. To get the fastest 0 to 60 time, you have to change its front tyres and its rear tyres, so they're no longer road legal, and put a special additive in the car, and then it will do the fastest time. The third, and I think that car is around 200, 300,000, that kind of price range. The third fastest 0 to 60 time is the Bugatti Chiron, which I think is a £2.5 million car kind of thing.
Yep.
Second is the Tesla Model S Plaid Edition, and it's £100,000.
Mm-hmm.
You're going a car that can out-accelerate a £2.5 million car for £100,000. £100,000 is obviously a huge amount of money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when you think about actually money for performance, that's incredibly good value.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't get anything else that will get even close to that for that kind of price.
Yeah.
Not even close. You know, and I think the same thing is happening with motorbikes now. We're starting to get these bikes in, and there are some things that, you know, the thing that everyone's always going to talk about is range. You know, they don't have the range yet, but the technologies are improving all the time and dramatically quickly. You know, and there are lots of different, you know, for instance, Super Socco, I think, is a great little company at the moment. They've got a range of bikes, and these, you know, they're kind of 60, 65
city
miles an
bikes,
hour. You know, they're city bikes, but they are £4,000. You know, I think for their top of the range Super Socco TC Max, and I love it. I think it's a great looking bike. It has, I think it's that one that, you know, you can quite easily change the battery if you need to. So you can just block the battery out, put another one in. You know, and it still accelerates brilliantly. you know, and then you get things like obviously the Harley Davidson Livewire, which I know, Bruce, you've ridden and absolutely love, don't you? Yeah, and I just think it's the
caught me by surprise, that
coming.
bike. It caught me by surprise. I didn't, with the whole long way up and all the furor that went with it, I just thought, Harley making an electric bike, it's not going to live up to the hype, and it genuinely does. It genuinely competes with your Zeros and your Energicas in almost every way. It's a great bike.
Oh,
you're all right. Have you gone?
Sorry, I'm here.
At the moment, I've only ever ridden 2 electric bikes. One was many years ago when they were first coming out, well, about 9 years ago on a track, and it was okay. And the other one was a KTM Enduro.
VRD.
The VRD, which was amazing as an Enduro bike. I loved it. I didn't feel any less fun than riding a petrol bike. Although I did miss the sound.
Yeah.
And I think Tom's absolutely right. I think the cars are probably 5 years ahead of the bikes, maybe even 10 years. I don't know, but that time will kind of come down because the bikes have got a long way to catch up. Because at the moment, you know, even the Livewire in decent conditions, what's the range? 100 miles, 120 miles?
So, realistically, I had it and I rode it exactly the way I ride a petrol bike, and I was getting about 100 miles to it.
Yeah.
When I say exactly, when I got to about 60% use of the battery, I was like, it was motorway. Motorways absolutely rinse the battery. Rinse it, which is why the electric makes sense in towns. If you can sit in towns, you can get Energicas, the Zeros, they will do 200 to 400 miles 200 to 400 kilometres on one charge if you're in the town. So if you just stop, start, great, perfect. Once you get out to anywhere where you have to maintain anything above, depending on what you're on, anywhere from sort of 55 to 65 mile an hour, anything above that where you're maintaining that speed, the battery just goes, literally just hammers it.
That will get a lot better, and I think it'll get a lot better reasonably quickly.
Yeah,
because they'll just be playing catch up with the cars.
But it's different though, because cars have got all that real estate to put the battery in, whereas bikes are limited by the physical size. So it's almost like
the battery technologies are improving.
They are
unbelievably quickly.
They are, but electric batteries for a bike have to be different to a car because you just physically can't get the real estate, the size, the volume of battery into a bike that you can into a car.
But then realistically, a bike has never had the range of a car anyway.
No, that's a good point, mate. Yeah. I've said that to people. Like, I've had people away on tours with me on MT10s, Aprilia Tuonos. Well, if you're spanking it on an MT10 or spanking it on a Tuono, your range can be as little as 80, 85 miles. So that's comparable with an electric bike that'll do 80 to 100. The difference is, with internal combustion, you turn up at a petrol station, 5 minutes later you got a full tank and off you go.
Yeah.
Electric, you're looking at these days anywhere from 20 to 40 to 3 or 4 hours, depending on what charge you use. That's the difference.
I think that's what needs to change more than how much the range of the bikes. It's the ability to be able to fast charge and fast charge really quickly. I think that's almost more important than the batteries themselves. It's how quickly they can charge. As you can tell, I'm quite passionate about this. And we will be doing a lot. We will be including. So we're doing some electric stuff in Adventure Bike TV, and we've got an episode dedicated to electric bikes.
Yeah.
On Motorbike TV, so we will be covering it in detail.
Good, awesome. I'm the same. I don't think electric is the answer to all ecological issues, not at all. But it's happening. There's nothing we can do about this. It's coming. It will definitely come. And I almost think you have to change your mentality around. You can't expect. Certainly, I would think in our immediate lifetimes, you cannot expect to just rock up on an electric bike, top up the battery and carry on your journey. You have to accept it's going to take a little bit longer. Hopefully it won't be 40 minutes, 2 hours, 4 hours. If we can get it to 20 minutes or sub half hour, anyone can knob and waste for half an hour, can't you, whilst it recharges.
Interestingly, when Graham interviewed Charlie recently, one thing he was saying is it's more about how you charge the bike. And his analogy, which I thought was really good, is it's like filling a glass with water. You can chuck loads of water in very quick, but when you get towards the thing, you have to slow it down and things like that.
It's the last
so
bit,
actually,
isn't it?
you can actually get an 80% charge in a pretty short amount of time.
Yeah. Which then allows you to go another 40, 50 miles. So you just keep doing those small increments, I suppose. Yeah. We'll see, because I think in our lifetimes it's going to happen. So.
I think within the next 10 years it'll be most new bikes will be on the electric side of things.
Yeah, it's interesting because have you noticed a lot of the big bike manufacturers now, and I include BMW in this. I spoke to BMW a couple of years about electric bikes and they almost poo-pooed it. They were just like, that's not our target audience. They're starting to push electrics with the scooters, and they're all bringing out electric push bikes, which is just the first step to the next.
That's sneaky though, because there's a new, I can't remember if it's a law or a
that you have to.
Everyone has to have an electric bike in their range, and so if they're not bringing out electric scooters, they're going to go, oh well, we've got round it, and suddenly you look on Ducati's homepage, and with all these like Ducati monsters and stuff like that, you randomly have an electric assist mountain bike, and it has to be in their main range, and it's. It's obviously a little loophole which they won't be able to use forever.
But it's just marketing, isn't it? It's acclimatizing us to getting used to that brand having electric, so that it's not such a massive kick to the nuts when it is electric. When they start putting electric bikes in front of you, you don't go, oh, that's not Ducati, I can't have that. It's just getting everyone used to electric to the point where where that is the mainstream. You're always going to have petrol. There'll always be petrol. In our lifetimes, there will always be petrol bikes. But I think the mainstream over the next 10, 15, 5 to 15, it'll move to electric. I can see that happening. Definitely. Anyway, that's probably half the podcast disappeared now. When I do an electric vid, oh my God, the comments. Sheesh.
Nothing divides opinion, I don't think, like electric bikes.
Absolutely, yeah. Totally. I mean, people are very passionate either way, and then you have those in the middle. But wow, yeah, it certainly gets the conversation going. Next one, my mate Mark Fulcher. How you doing, Fulch? Evening, me ducks. If you could be a motorbike for the day, whose motorbike would you be? So that's all in. Any generation, any bike, any owner, any scenario. But whose bike would it be and why? Good luck with the new venture. Really looking forward to it.
So whose bike would we like to own?
No, would you be?
So I'd actually be a bike. Someone would ride me.
Yeah. Steve McQueen. I'm just putting it out there. Steve McQueen. Coolest guy on the planet. Steve McQueen. I want to be that Triumph. Christy, go on.
I want to be Tom Hardy's, and I really don't care what bike it is.
As soon as I said Steve McQueen, I thought everyone's going to think I'm going to want to be ridden by Steve McQueen. But I just think the bloke's the coolest bloke ever. But I understand what you're saying.
He rides motorbikes. He gets to ride an abundance of different motorbikes. I really do not give a shit which one that is. I'm whichever one he wants me to be.
Is he a biker? I didn't know he was a biker.
Yeah.
Is he?
He's one of the investors
it makes him even more the perfect man.
Sorry, Graham, what was that you were saying?
Watching.
Oh, wait, he's where was it we interviewed Charlie? Tom?
Bike Shed.
Yeah, Bike Shed. Yeah, so Tom Hardy's Bike Shed's got many investors, but most of whom want to stay sort of silent in the background. But Tom Hardy's one of the ones who is openly an investor in the Bike Shed in London.
Is he? I didn't know that. I didn't even know he was a biker.
Yeah.
I love
Tom. They are, Tom. You got a fan.
Do you love Tom Hardy? Do you love Tom Hardy? Do you really?
No, I didn't say a word then. I don't know what happened.
I'm sorry. I've been miles away wondering whether Mila Kunis rides motorbikes.
Oh God, yeah.
I think she would. I think she does.
Does Catherine Jenkins ride a motorbike?
I think I'd be Mila Kunis's motorbike. That'd be great. Thanks.
We could take this down a totally different avenue.
I'm wondering if that really what he was expecting to get from the question.
Yeah, absolutely. Fulch is a proper deviant. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, this is probably quite tame for what he was expecting. Graham, what about you, bud?
I think this is the first question of the evening. I don't know the answer to this one.
Tom Hardy?
I get it, but not for me. Guys, my beautiful assistant has just brought me a top up and some pizza.
Fantastic. Oh, that's a point.
Wow.
How is everybody for time?
Tom, how jealous are you for Friday pizza?
Hey, buddy, as soon as I get
Hello.
a bit
Hello. How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
Who's going to be doing her CBT this year?
Fantastic.
Yay.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah, and Tom's going to find sponsorship for me.
That's a feature, Tom. That's a feature. Everyone's always interested to know how you get into biking. There you go.
I don't need another Christy who's just on the phone. Tom, get me this. Tom, I want some new clothing. Tom, get me a bike on
Make you
loan.
famous.
Tom, get me this.
I've never said that in my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
Tom, please get me a Triumph Trident. Please, Tom, please. Christy, I've managed to get you a Triumph Trident on long-term loan. There you go, you've got it. Great, Tom. Can I have some clothing now, please? Yes, Christy, what clothing would you like? I really like a showy helmet. I'll see what I can do.
No, let's be honest. All right, if you're going to be like that, if you're going to play that card, I'm going to be completely honest.
Domestic.
What did I say I wanted? What T-shirt did I want specifically? It was nothing but NBTV. That's all I said.
TeapotOne T-shirt. I can get you a TeapotOne T-shirt.
But let's be real about it. All I said was, are we going to have NBTV T-shirts that I can wear? Because I'm a sucker for a T-shirt.
I sent you an email about that, Tom. I don't know if you got that, but I sent you an email about it.
I did, yeah.
I have had a windswept and interesting revelation about this question: whose bike I'd want to be, and I might change my answer if I can.
Go on, then.
Depends what it's to. If it's
Ted
not as
Simon's
embarrassing, we
bike.
won't let you.
Ted Simon.
That's seen some stuff, hasn't it?
the overlord legend of motorcycle overlanding, Ted Simon's bike led the way for everybody. Ted
That's
Simon's
a good
bike.
change. That's a good switch.
I feel like I've gone another rung. I've gone one rung up there rather than down there. So Ted Simon's bike.
See, but now we all feel like we have to give sensible answers.
No, it's done. It's done.
I don't want to give a sensible. I have no other answer.
Tom Hardy is yours. Done. Next one, Tractor Paul. Evening, everyone. Got to ask, how many hours per episode have you set aside for Bruce's makeup? Prick. Which bikes do you all own, really? Looking forward to watching the show. Good luck, everyone. So what bikes does everybody own? Excuse me, pardon. I've got a GS, best bike in the world, and a Gix 1000.
I currently only own one bike, which is a little 125 Herald Maverick. On the last series of Adventure Bike TV, we always do a Tales from Trails where we go off riding. Look at Graham eating his pizza. I hate you.
I'm sorry.
Munch away, mate. Munch away.
And I just loved it. I mean, we were doing all this off-road stuff, and it was just light and fun and great to ride. And we weren't doing anything super fast and things. And we got back to the end of the trip. I was so in love with it. I phoned them and bought it off them.
Did you? 125s are such a giggle, man, aren't they? They're such fun.
Brilliant.
And I mean, I've in the past I had a gorgeous Triumph Tiger 800 XC, which we rallied up, and it's been up to Nordcap, and we've done the Stella Alpina on it and all sorts of things. And then it's actually in South America now with a guy I think he's just clocked over 200,000 miles on it.
Wow.
And it's as far as I know, apart from like full-on servicing and stuff like that, the only thing that's broken on it was this spring for the side stand. It's an amazing piece of kit. But I'm quite fortunate that essentially, if I ever need a bike for something, I can usually borrow one. So it's kind of, and because of what we do, any bike I owned, because I don't get much time to ride anyway, and when I do, it tends to be stuff for the shows, and at which point we tend to be using bikes we're borrowing anyway. It would just sit in my garage not doing anything at the moment. So
yeah, I know.
I mean, yeah, the Herald has kind of sentimental value, and I just love it to bits, which is why I have that. But at the moment, I don't own one, and I kind of miss owning one, but it doesn't really make sense. If that makes sense.
Christy, what about you?
At the moment, I share with my husband a GSXR 750.
Nice.
Mainly because obviously when the kids come along, I got rid of my bike, which was a 400 Bandit. And I love the Bandit as well. I mean, it really got me my favorite bikes are naked bikes anyway. I just love that street performance bike, that naked look. So the Bandit, it was just a really cool little bike. Just
it's great fun, isn't it? Great fun.
I loved it, and I found it considering the age of the bike when I rode it, I just found it really responsive. Like the clutch was like really nice and light on it, and it was just a good bike to have, the Bandit. But now at the moment we share the GSXR 750, and I gotta be honest, I find the GSXRs quite gnarly. They're fun. They are fun. And also, as touched upon earlier by Tom, I do have a little bit of a dick about on a little pit bike that I've got. And some
Which I constantly
bikes.
take the mick out of you for.
Yeah, and some dirt bikes that I get out on. But I gotta be honest, I love riding the dirt as well. So yeah, that's my bikes at the moment. But obviously, within this past sort of year and a half, 2 years, getting back on it, I'm really looking forward to getting on some other bikes for sure.
Nice.
And I'll just leave it as that.
Yeah. Graham, what about yourself?
I have a 1997 Fireblade, which I've had since 1998.
Wow.
Which I had to put on some comfort handlebars because it was hurting my back too much to ride it with the standard handlebars. I'm slightly ashamed to say. But you know what? It's done 50,000 miles. I've toured on it. I've commuted on it. I've scratched on it-ish. And it's still on the original clutch.
Is it?
It is utterly
Nice.
Bulletproof, that bike.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Honda, man. Honda.
Yeah. They'll
I
always
actually had the Honda technician, the guy who looks. This was 10 years ago, but he looked after Honda HQ, all their bikes, all the press fleet.
Yeah.
So he was the guy when if a dealer couldn't fix a bike, he was the one they went to because he just knew everything about the bikes, like their top technician. And he was dropping off. In fact, it was the bikes that Danny and I used to go around the Med when we did our Mad in the Med trip. And he saw the Fireblade, and he went, what? He said that particular year is the only engine I've not managed to break.
Wow.
The RRV. So there you go.
Wow.
So I've got that. I've got my BMW S1000 XR, which is what they call a sports adventure bike.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sports bike with adventure styling.
Yeah.
It is, and it's an astonishing bike to ride. And I've just sold my 690 KTM 690 Enduro, but I'm going to replace it. I'm going to go back to an EXC 500 for green laning. So,
Nice.
kind of a bike for all occasions.
That's a nice stable you got going on there. Lovely.
It's very nice. I'm a very lucky boy.
Happy days.
Yeah.
How is everybody for time? That's been 2.25 hours, believe it or not.
I'm good.
Wow.
Everyone all right for time?
I'm just running out of beers.
I reckon we've got about another 20 minutes, half hour of questions, if that's okay for everyone.
All right.
Is that
As
all
long
right?
as I can eat my pizza.
Yeah, no problem. No worries. Do
The
people
thing
want...
is, right, when we finish this call, I get to have pizza. So I know Graham is now going to sit there and just make this go on as long as possible
Yeah, I know,
while
yeah.
eating pizza.
It's got me hungry, I tell you. Does anyone need
Bring
a
me
bathroom
pizza.
break? I'm going to pop for a pee. Does anyone else need to go?
I snuck off earlier.
Oh,
Is that where you went earlier? I actually
Well,
might sneak off for a pee as well.
I'll disappear for 5. I'll be back, right? Right, folks, whilst we all have a bit of a natural break there, we are sponsored by Ultimate Add-ons. Ultimate Add-ons are the premium manufacturer of mobile phone and action camera mounting solutions for motorcycles. With a kit for any bike and a proven track record of creating products that keep your devices safe, secure and easily accessible, the Ultimate Add-ons product range is ideal for any rider from the commuter to the round the world adventurer. Hiya! Why shell out on an expensive GPS system when you could use your smartphone, keeping it charged and within reach to take photos of your travels at the same time? Ultimate Add-ons waterproof, shockproof and dustproof tough cases are available for all flagship smartphone models and are designed by riders for riders. Find out why Ride Magazine gives Ultimate Add-ons their coveted Best Buy certification. Keep riding this winter with Ultimate Add-ons. It's all about the journey. So if you head to ultimateaddons.com and use the code TeapotOne10, you'll get 10% off at checkout. So that's TeapotOne10, TeapotOne, and the number 10 for 10% off. We are also brought to you by Temp Rocket. Temp Rocket is a unique, powerful online solution for finding and booking temporary staff. Harnessing the power of online technology, the platform transforms temporary staff recruitment by bringing the three key players, hirers, agencies and contractors, together in one place to deliver a quicker, more efficient solution for all parties 24/7. Temp Rocket incorporates an innovative online bidding system through which hirers and agencies compare details and costs, then bid for a contractor with the option of making a counterbid, accepting or declining an offer until they find the ideal candidate. Making life easier for contractors and freelancers, creating more business for agencies and simplifying the recruitment process for the hirer, Temp Rocket's a win-win-win. Please visit temprocket.com for more information. That's TEMPROCKET.com. Okay, we are all fed, watered and relieved. Let's return to the podcast.
He's back, shush.
Hi,
Shush,
I'm
everyone,
back.
Shush, he's back.
Shh, everyone. Shh.
Depending on what you've just said, I'll either include that or delete it, one or the other.
I delete it.
Are you alright just to crack on?
Only because it's been Christy just going, I'm on my sixth bear.
Good effort. Good effort. Right, next question. Brian McManus. Hi to you all and hope you're all well. To you all, what's the biggest opportunity that slipped through your fingers and do you think it was for the best? Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow, that's a good one. Biggest opportunity
Is
that
this
slipped through
biking
your fingers.
related or are we just going life?
I think go life. Let's go big.
I got one if other people are still thinking.
Yeah, crack on, mate.
I used to do huge amounts of sailing. I was laser 3000 national champion back in the day. I had a world ranking of 46 at one point in my kind of 18, 19-year-old. I was very lucky. I went to a school that had lots of sailing. And I had team trials for the catamaran class with a friend of mine Michael John Bull. And
Name drop.
we basically had a 4-day event, 5-day event. And
How long did that take?
5-day event. Weirdly. and so basically it was two-man catamaran we were sailing. And we managed to massively damage it on the second day, where we were in second place overall. And I think the top 5 got into the Olympic squad. And we really damaged the boat and couldn't carry on. And we ended up coming 6th or 7th, just outside the thing. And had we not, I'm pretty sure we could have held on to at least top 3. And I would have joined the British Olympic team and I would have gone off and done like the Olympics in, the 2004 Olympics would have been my first Olympics. Obviously it didn't happen, and then my course of life completely changed. So, and it's not, I wouldn't say it's a regret in any way, shape or form, because I wouldn't have met my wife, I wouldn't have had my kids, I probably wouldn't have got into motorcycling, or done any of this.
No, you'd have been a hugely famous Olympian.
Yeah, exactly. I'd just be an Olympian, probably racing with Ben Ainsley in America's Cup right now.
Yeah.
So,
If you'd ever heard of Ben Ainsley, it would have been Tom Woodrow.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, yeah.
All's well that ends well, Tom.
That's the kind of, it's not a regret. It's just one of those things that happens. But it's certainly a point where my life veered completely off trail and went a different way. So,
is this you trying to get out of the Atlantic row with me? Is this
no, I'm
what
just
this
wondering
is
whether I
like?
can sail it instead. Can I sail it instead,
What about you, Graham? Biggest opportunity that slipped away.
Let me just bring it back down to an appropriate level. So when I was 22, I got a job offer to go and be a male escort in Florida.
Seriously?
Oh,
Is that on LinkedIn? Where'd you get these opportunities?
hi sponsors. How are you?
No, I'm not
Another
saying
one for the
it would have
trailer.
changed the course of my life, but
Wow.
it would have been an experience. So
Graham, what circles did you mix in where that opportunity arose?
weirdly, it was a guy I was working with in Dixon's, if you can remember the Dixon's stores.
Yeah.
He was a male escort. And
Wow.
he was just doing a summer job over here, and he was going, he was a Christmas job over here, and he was going to go back to Florida. And I talked to him about it, and I spoke to the agency they worked from the States, and we were going to go back to the States and work over there.
Wow.
Can I just say, I've known Graham a long, long time. Not only is that the first time I've ever heard that story, but also I know full well that he has some of the most inspiring stories I've ever heard, yet he chose to tell that one.
And he's just shared that with 70,000 people.
What? Surely. Oh.
Yeah, well, maybe as a clarification over what he meant by male escort. He was as in...
Just
he would
talk
be
with
paying
these
a lot of money
ladies and people
to
that
be
wanted company.
The posh Englishman on the arm of a very wealthy American lady.
Of course, that's all they were looking for a male escort to do, obviously.
Exactly.
On the arm of probably like a 70-year-old lady in Florida.
Wow. I've never been more, well, not of the 70-year-old, but I've never been more envious, Graham. Wow. Wow.
But I didn't go, so, you look back and you think,
Missed opportunity.
There are so many people throwing things at their screen and their phones and everything as we speak. Christy,
it's
can you
hard
live up
being
to that?
handsome, isn't it, Graham?
Christy, over to you. Biggest missed opportunity.
Well, when I was about, I think I was about 5, something like that. We were on holiday, my parents, myself, and my sister. And even though me and my sister aren't twins, my mum went through that phase of just dressing us like we were twins. So we did look kind of identical. And we were apparently approached by an Austrian heiress on the beach who absolutely fell in love with myself and my sister. I'm assuming, she may not have a family or able to have children of her own. And I think she did kind of offer to inherit us. I could be of Austrian royalty heiressing it up right now in Austria. But my
You've never forgiven your mum and dad since? How dare they? How dare they?
Yeah, I'm so annoyed at her right now.
How much did they offer your parents?
Do you know what? She's
Sounds like a
never
good deal.
actually said, so I don't think it was much, and I think she considered it. So maybe that's why she didn't
Slab of
actually
dairy
say.
milk.
Yeah, but apparently as a child I was a dream, but she does always say that if she'd had offered it me as a teenager, I would have been long gone because I was an arsehole. So
Next
that's
one.
one missed opportunity, and the other more down-to-earth one was that I did have the opportunity to go to stage school and kind of pursue acting at an earlier age that way, but I didn't choose that option. But I've kind of worked my way around and ended up that way anyway. So I'm a big believer in life works out.
Absolutely. What's meant to be is meant to be, isn't it? What's
Yeah,
meant
that's
for you
what I
won't go by you.
Well,
Except I could be in Austria rich by now. But yeah.
Not having to worry about anything, yeah.
how about you, Bruce?
Oh, blimey. Cool. I think since about my certainly since my 30s, I've tended just to go for it. But I think before that, my rugby days, I used to be, rugby was life. All I wanted to do was play for Scotland. So all through my teens, and right up to I think 1920. I trialled for Scotland when I was 1920. I trialled with Jason White, who became Scotland captain and British Lions captain. Well, we both trialled for Scotland at the same time, and he got it and I didn't. And then I sort of fell into, I was working the door. I was at uni, I was working the doors. I just sort of fell into the beer and women and forget rugby after that. So I then watched Jason disappear off into Scotland and Scotland captain and British Lions, and I became a dad and, didn't do particularly.
Play, Bruce?
Second row, number 8. I was second row originally, and then through like district and stuff, they were looking for me to go to number 8, and for Scotland would be number 8 and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I kind of.
I was looking forward a row.
Well, yeah, I did. I played front row at school, but at 14 years of age, I was 6'3" and 17 stone. So it was I was the scrum. So
Wow,
I've basically
That's where
been.
I would have put you anyway.
See now, yeah, but like in the early 90s, front rows weren't 6 foot plus. They were short, stocky lads.
Stockier, weren't they?
So I was a second row, whereas now I'm a midget for a second row now. So. But,
When did you stop growing?
About 11, 12. I was like 6'3" when I started the secondary school, so it was and 17 stone, and I just sort of stayed there till my 30s, and then I went up to about 20 stone, and I've sat there ever since. So yeah, I think that's about it really. Certainly since my 30s, I've just sort of gone for it. If an opportunity's there, let's have it. Let's go for it. Next one, Andy Bowen, Motorbike Tourer. Are there going to be any touring bits on the show, but on bikes? Not just touring bikes, most people have, but any kind of bikes. Personally, I love nakeds, and I'm happy to tour on them. Are we going to do any touring-y type stuff, Tom?
Let me look at my board. The reason is Adventure Bike TV is coming out in April. So that's a much fuller board that I'm concentrating on at the moment. We are going to be doing some touring a bit. Certainly, what we want to do with some electric bikes is some touring to really get to grips with, what it's really like to try and do some long distances on electric bikes when you have to stop and charge and things like that, and try and go to places that when maybe chargers aren't. There might be one charger and 3 bikes. What do you do? That kind of thing.
Top Gear rules.
That's Graham lives by that Top Gear rule. We do a fair bit of touring on Adventure Bike TV. So certainly we're doing some kind of 24-hour adventure tours. Which on that show, which is going to have everything from kind of adventuring on a Goldwing to, adventuring on a little kind of 300cc Honda CRF, that kind of thing. So there's not a huge amount of it, but there will be some, and it's the first season of this show. We probably won't get it perfect first round. It's like any TV series like that. You can get we go for what we think is going to be the best show, and we'll always find some bits that work better than others. And other bits that maybe we see a lot of people saying we wish we'd seen that, and we start to bring it in, and it's a constantly evolving thing. A show like this.
So the key point of that, folks, is let us know what you think when it comes out.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure we don't need to ask.
People always do.
Oh yeah, I know. It is the greatest and the worst part of any sort of, well, for me, social presence. I love the interaction, and I hate the interaction, but it's just part and parcel, isn't it? You've got to take the good with the bad. I have genuinely had people who say they think I make the best videos ever, and I've genuinely had people send me death threats. Oh yeah.
So yeah,
it's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great fun. But all we're trying to do is make a show essentially that my guiding thing has always been I will make a show that I would sit down and watch.
Perfect.
That, you know.
Sounds
that's
good
what
to
I'm
me.
doing. Yeah.
I've just read the next one, and Matt Price, you are a legend. With Bruce taking the part of the sexy one in the show, what roles? Yeah, what roles do Graham and Christy see themselves fulfilling?
Mother.
Mother.
Clearly. Nah.
No,
I'm awful
no.
at that.
I'd say I'm the broken one.
Broken. Why is that?
I'm struggling to think of a joint in my body that isn't broken or damaged in some way.
Yeah, yeah. You
I'm
need
the rookie
booze.
then. I'll be the rookie.
I'm sitting here and going, if I had to assign one of the Top Gear presenters to you guys, which one would be which?
Oh yeah, go on. That's
Yeah,
that's a good avenue. Go down that. Then.
Do
Which
that.
ones? What, Clarkson,
Come on,
May,
Tom.
and the hamster, or the new
I
Top
think
Gear?
no, old school.
Yeah, I get
I
asked
think
that
Christy-
all the time.
Christy would be hamster.
Yeah.
Richard Hammond. So it's now down to who thinks they're going to be the boring one, the James May. It's very difficult, actually.
Or who's the bullshit artist?
Tom, consider your words carefully.
Yeah, I know.
To be honest,
No, really, think about this very carefully. Oh, look, my video stopped working. Oh, no, I'm gone. Sorry, no, it's not working. I'm back.
this is where Graham's like, remember, I'm an executive producer on the
Yeah,
show.
no, yeah. I'll whatever one you don't want to be, Graham. That's me.
I would probably say you're both Clarkson. I don't think there is a James May, to be honest. If there was, it would probably be me. There you go, avoided that one.
Wow. Yeah.
Well done.
You should be a politician. Right, next one. Jay Alexander. It's starting to feel like there's no end in sight. I was supposed to do an American road trip this year. Guess that'll get pushed back to next year. The weather doesn't help. Sorry, it's not a question. He's just having a moan. Well, that's my moan over. Sorry, Jay. Sorry, mate. But we're all in the same boat, pal. So things will change. Don't worry about that.
Keep smiling, and if you want to, you can go watch Adventure Bike TV on Amazon Prime. There's loads of
There you
specials.
go.
Nice way
There you
to
go.
live vicariously through us.
Absolutely, yes. Get yourself ready for when freedom returns. Another one, Joe Hicks. Good luck. Good luck. Really looking forward to the TV series. Cheers, Joe. Stephen Alex. Really looking forward to the show. I'm sorry, I haven't read this. Bruce is perfect for this. Good luck. Thank you very much, Stephen Alex. I do appreciate that.
Oh,
Right,
he hasn't read any of these.
I hadn't. I promise you, I
Oh,
hadn't.
by the way, Bruce,
Oh,
I haven't
shit
read
on
this.
that.
Let me just read some of my comments. Tom is the best filmmaker I've ever seen. I hadn't read that beforehand. I didn't mean to, sorry.
I'm sorry. Right, let's move over onto. Are you okay for time? Is everyone okay for time?
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool. I think
My pizza's on the way. My wife has been instructed to bring it in when it arrives.
we're gonna hit 3 hours. Good God, it's 2.5 at the moment.
I think the problem you've got is normally you only have one person to answer the questions. Now you have to do three
know.
answers for each. Yeah.
I know. It's been good though. It's been a giggle. Right, so we move over to Instagram. For me, that's at TeapotOne Insta, and I'll put everyone else's Insta accounts in the podcast description and in the vid description. So check down there. Make sure you follow, subscribe, like, etc. to everybody. So first one we got here is official Mr. Fish. How you doing, John? Not a question, just a good luck. Looks like a great lineup, and Bruce. Thanks very much. Cheers, John. Wish you guys success and fun times. Next one. Oh, somebody called Christy Axe.
I know that name.
Got to be in there. You got to be in there. Sparrow4994. Looking forward to the new venture. Will there be any regular sections? For example, riding roads of the UK, a section about good old bikes, and not just like the other programmes who just concentrate on the... Oops. Not just like the other car programmes who concentrate on the out of reach for the majority expensive cars. Well, I think we've already addressed that, haven't we?
Yeah, you're not going to like the show.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But you did say there's going to be a bit of a mix, isn't there? We're going to go for the extravagant, and then we're also going to do other little options on every episode.
There is method to the madness. I mean, people can't just go and what, if there's 100 or 200 or 5,000 reviews of a bike, why would you particularly tune in to see our show?
Absolutely.
We want to be a bit special, but we have a YouTube channel where we're going to be putting other, getting people on normal bikes and playing, normal stuff. So. Yeah.
So they're going to be treated like two different mediums, aren't they? The TV and then the social side.
The show is the main thing. We have a YouTube channel as a support really for the show. It will show some behind the scenes stuff. The presenters can make little films whenever they like. Things they might be, bikes they might be riding or kit they might have, things like that. They'll go on there, but it's all supporting material for the main show. We aren't a YouTube channel. We are a TV series.
Yeah, got you. Next one, Brandon Wren. Wondering if this will make it on Prime USA. Yes, it will.
Yep.
Carbonator, exciting. Cheers, pal. Hope you enjoy it when it comes. Motor MA77. Oh, here we go. Why did you pick TeapotOne? If you could spend 24 hours with someone dead or alive, who would it be and why? And also, we know TeapotOne's scariest moment. What's everyone else's? Well, we've covered that last one.
Yeah.
You don't need to answer that one. Why me? But if you could spend 24 hours with someone dead or alive, who would it be?
I'd like to answer that one, thank you.
Do I want you to answer that one?
I spent a long time choosing presenters for this show. It wasn't just me going, hey, who's cheap? It was looking at,
cheap.
It's not.
Are you guys getting paid?
People think.
What?
It's not as easy as people think to create a presenting team that works together well. And I think, if you look at when they had all the Top Gear changes and they had Chris Evans and they had various, and it just didn't really work. And obviously they went over to the Matt LeBlanc and that took a long time for the chemistry to really kind of start going. Yeah. Just as you really felt there was a bit of chemistry between the presenters, they all went their separate ways anyway. So it's not an easy thing, and it's a long process of kind of going, okay, well, who can we get? Who will be right? Who has, who have people kind of heard of? Who do people respect in the market? And you can go through all these things and you can go, right, okay, well, here is, we'll get this one famous person who's great, this other person's famous, great, and this other person's famous, great. If they don't work together in chemistry, there's no longevity to the show. The show ends up being a one series thing and people turn off. It was a long process for me to kind of go, right, I need to find three presenters that are going to work together well and have a great chemistry. One of the things we have is a WhatsApp chat between everyone. And I remember Christy spent a long once kind of going, Tom, you don't talk very much on here, and it's because it's not for me. I'm being a puppet master and getting the chemistry flowing between you.
You sat there with your head in your hands. Going,
yeah, that was more like it. The disappointment seeping through him.
But I've put together the team that I think will best have great on-screen chemistry, and yeah, we'll just see whether I did a good job or not, won't we?
I think we're going to have a giggle. I genuinely do. I think it's going to be a scream.
What was the second question on that?
Oh yeah, what was the second question?
Who would you spend time with, 24 hours with, one there?
If you could spend 24 hours with someone dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Steve McQueen.
Yeah?
Steve McQueen on a Sunday going bike racing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I want to ask him about what it was like making the Great Escape.
I saw a documentary on Steve McQueen I think it was on Sky Arts or something. And that bloke was, take him away from the actor side. I mean, he lived and breathed bikes, didn't he? He absolutely lived and breathed racing. Yeah, really focused guy and a good rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. What about you, Christy?
Right, so
Tom Hardy.
me trying not to say that. I really am. Do you know what? It depends. It depends what mood I'm in. There's many different multiple personalities of mine that would predict the outcome of this question. And to be honest, depending on what mood, there are quite a few people that I would choose. But you know, for an intellectual kind of gathering in 24 hours, I'd really like to spend time with David Attenborough. Like, he is, cool. He's just a national treasure, and the stories that he could tell, like, with, you know, in a non-biking capacity.
That's a good call.
The other one is Elvis Presley, and that's just for the obvious capacity. And in a biking sense, it'd have to be my hero, Valentino Rossi.
Wow. Yeah. Do you
24 hours of Rossi. Wow.
Do you think Rossi is entertaining away from the bikes?
I think he is. Yeah. It's as a non-biased answer, because obviously there's an element of attraction that goes there as well. So, you know, like I'm answering based on a bit of like, oh, it's Valentino Rossi, but following him on his different his accounts, and he does a lot of off-roading and racing, car racing as well. I think he'd be, I think off the track he'd be just as exciting and entertaining as he is on. But also, I think it's more because I do think his career, he is still very successful, yet he is still, it has been up and down this past couple of, you know, so this past kind of, you know, I can put myself out there now saying it, but 2 years, 3 years maybe, that he has been, in my eyes, back on it. And I know he took a dip for a while in between different teams and bikes, and obviously the incident with Marco Simoncelli, I think, had a massive impact on him. And for him to even come back after that, I think is applaudable in all senses. But I think he'd be just as cool off the track as he is on, the old doctor.
I think you're right. And the fact that the guy is still fighting almost at the very top level consistently.
Yeah.
Even
and
after all this time.
I mean, bringing his age into it as well. He's fighting all the youngsters now as well. And he's still, you know, he's still podium.
Yeah.
That's a massive achievement.
He's 41 now, isn't he? Something like that?
I believe he's 41.
And he's still coming in, like, certainly within the top 10, if not top 6, top 5 in most of the races. And you're like, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. I
mean, and I just think what stories he has to tell, you know?
Yeah. I had the absolute, utter privilege of meeting Colin Edwards and spending like the evening with him at his ranch, his Texas Tornado Boot Camp ranch.
Wow.
That bloke is just... I'm a grown man. As a grown man, you shouldn't have a hero, should you? But I mean, that bloke is just, as a 45-year-old bloke, I would have a poster of him up in my. He's just awesome. He's just such a decent geezer. He's awesome. He's everything you expect or you want your hero to be. That's what that bloke is. Phenomenal.
He always comes across when you see him on MotoGP, and he hasn't been part of the pundit team for a while, but when he was, I mean, as a racer, amazing. But then as a pundit, I always thought he was both. He could communicate brilliantly, but also be very down to earth.
Yeah.
He's got that. I thought he was a great pundit. Really, really good.
And he's got that inherent Texas mentality in him that like you said, very down to earth, very guttural. He can relate to normal people, and he is normal, but the bloke plainly possesses biking talents that are just up in the top 1%, aren't they? And he was just such a down to earth, humble. His whole family were, but I mean, he's the one that is the MotoGP star. And it was amazing. It was amazing to meet him. What
He
about you,
looks
Tom?
like he has the best parties at his ranch.
When I was there, it was his birthday, and it was literally a Twitter. It was just a tweet. One of my mates who happened to work for Bridgestone at the time had said, "We've got a guy that we're supporting. He's on this trip. He'll be coming through the States." And Colin Edwards just tweeted back and said, "Yeah, tell him when he gets to Texas, give me a shout." So when I was in Mexico, I sent him a message. I just sent him a DM on Twitter and said, "I'm that guy. I'm heading to California at the moment, but I'll be back in Texas in like 2 weeks or whatever." And he said, "Oh yeah, just stop by the ranch. I'm getting in from Singapore." So I stopped by the ranch, and the guys were all there and made me feel very, very at home. And then he turned up straight from the airport in his 4x4, and it was his birthday. So he'd bought himself a big ass truck for his birthday. So late on in the evening, when a lot of beer and steak's been consumed, everyone piled into the back of this big 4x4 truck, and he took it round the enduro track. He's like jumping this great big 4x4 over the enduro track, and I was like, this bloke's just my hero. He's awesome.
And you slid into his DMs.
Oh, I was like, I want you to be my dad. You are the best dad ever.
That's awesome.
Mega. What about you, Tom?
Neil deGrasse Tyson would probably be my anyone.
Wow.
Biking wise, Travis Pastrana.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, good shout.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Nice to
Neil
see him now.
deGrasse Tyson. Now, yes.
Yeah.
You like the deep conversation then, do you?
I like space. What you can't see is like just over there. I've got like a whole load of NASA memorabilia. I'm a massive. I've actually got. I'm just going to geek out for a second. This is a cosmonaut's helmet that I own.
Oh my God! What is that? Genuinely been up in space?
No, this one hasn't. There's this weird thing. You can
get rid of it. Get rid of it.
You can get these from the old kind of USSR. Because what they did is they made, as I understand it, they made huge amounts of them for their shuttle program,
Right.
which never, the Americans beat them to it, so they never went for it. So what they did is they basically got these and they just turned them into pilot's helmets. But you can still see, like inside there, where they cut out all the rubber seals for when it was going to be a spacesuit. They just cut that bit out of it.
Jeez.
And then they just ended up being high pressure flight helmets. So yeah, I'm a massive geek.
At the risk of going down a massive rabbit warren at this late stage of the podcast, UFOs. What do you think of UFOs?
Oh,
What do I? Well,
I'm a
Yes or no?
believer.
Me too. 100%. 100%.
I'm with.
I don't think that they've. I think UFO sightings are just kind of most of them explainable. I think there probably are extra.
Get out.
I think that.
Get out.
I think
Check him out. Check him out now.
it is mathematically impossible that there isn't life out there. But the likelihood of it being able to travel the distance to come to us, or us being at a point where they even care that we wouldn't matter to them, if they are advanced enough to be able to travel between solar systems and things like that, then I can't see that we'd be like ants to them.
Exactly. And we study ants.
Not
We
much.
study bacteria. This is the thing, right? Like I listen to a lot. Of
Question
Joe
is,
Rogan.
we don't spend most of our time studying ants via their anus. And there seem to be an awful lot of
Wow.
probes when
What's
it comes
happened?
to.
Did something happen to you at school, Tom? Do you need to
No, but
talk
you
to
always
somebody?
hear about them talking about the anal probes, don't you? And it's like, why?
Oh
What?
yeah, I was wondering where you were going with that. Then I was really trying to fathom in my mind.
Well,
in my
everyone's always saying, oh yeah,
mind.
I was probed. I was like,
Wait,
Get
you
yourself,
know,
get yourself
probing
onto
into it.
Joe Rogan's podcast, right? Joe Rogan, and search for Commander David Fravor, Travis Walton, or Jeremy Corbell, right, those three guys on Joe Rogan, and just sit and listen to his chats with any of those three.
Are we just going down a Robert Warren of conspiracy?
Mate, honestly, that may well change your world. Listen to those three. Commander David Fravor is a decorated American Air Force captain. And he is in a jet, and the American military have backed it all up. They've gone, yep, it's here. He's got actual radar footage and camera footage and everything of crafts that he saw and other people saw, and they can't explain it. These things went from like a foot above sea level to outer space in the blink of an eye, and jammed radar and did all this, and they're just like, nothing can do that. Wait, what is it? And they've got it all on camera. Listen to it. And there's another guy called Bob Lazar.
He's going for it now. Go on, Bruce.
Honestly, the Bob Lazar one will freak you out. He's like a mad scientist dude that came out in the 80s to say, I've been recruited to work at this place next to Area 51. I think they call it Area 54 or something like that. And he's basically like, I worked on craft, don't know what they were, but I've never seen them before. It's technology I don't know. And he's like a proper physics genius. And he's like that. Their propulsion systems, everything. We don't have this. It's just not in existence, and I don't understand what any of this is. And to this day, his story.
When I was a kid, I was published in a UFO. I was all into when X-Files were out and things like that. I was published in a UFO magazine. I wrote an article when I was like 15, 16 about the B-2 bomber and how it used technology from an alien world.
They're watching you, Tom. They're watching you.
Oh, I was so cool back then. How I ever got laid, I've no idea.
We'll end that there. Right, let's crack on through these questions because we are just about 3 hours. Bike throttle. That's my mate Sean. How you doing, Sean? I'm sure loads of us would like to know how that... Oh, you don't need to answer this if you don't want. How the Amazon TV business model works, especially when it's the world's richest man behind it all. How'd you get on Amazon TV? If someone wanted to do it, how did they do it? Bless you, by the way.
Thank you very much. Amazon has various different ways that you can get on it. The two main ways are they commission things to be made, where they pay for it up front, or you... essentially you make something and you put it up there a bit like you do with YouTube, I guess. But there is an awful lot more in place. You couldn't just grab any YouTube video and stick it up there. You have to have... What are you
trying to say about YouTube, Tom?
Nothing at all. Because we were a YouTube staple for a long time, but there's stuff that the average Joe, I guess, would struggle with getting it on Amazon Prime because Amazon Video technically is what it is, because you need to do a whole load of things that you just wouldn't get when you're doing a normal video. For instance, YouTube does all the kind of captioning for you automatically. That isn't going to happen with you have to have it paid to have it done professionally. You have to do certain kind of color ranges and color matching, and there's a whole kind of... I won't go into it because it will just bore you. Give me 2 seconds. My pizza's arrived.
There's certain things which you just have to stop for.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot. Cheers, thanks.
I'm just having a little quick run through to see how many more Insta questions we've got. We've still got probably another... say 6 to 8 questions still to go on Instagram. Wow. Is everyone okay for time? Because I'm very conscious that this is dragging on. Is everyone okay? Yeah.
If I could read you the messages my daughter is sending me, you might just die a little bit.
Go on.
Read one. Go on.
So she said to me, "You've taken so long. We've drunk all the vodka."
I love your family.
Yes.
We've had this WhatsApp group going for quite a while, over Christmas.
I said to her, "Sorry, I'm dry again," as in my glass is dry. And she said, "My shift finished at 9:30. Soz."
And Tom's into a pizza. Oh. I don't think I've ever been any more jealous of a man.
proper.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah. Anyway,
So-
that answer about Amazon Prime was surely getting boring anyway, wasn't it? Right?
It's technical.
It's
Listen,
all technical stuff.
It's
So,
possible.
yeah.
Just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just takes a little bit of. I guess anyone can get it up there. The main thing is, you have to.
Another
you have
quote
to
for the
find,
trailer.
you have to find a way of funding it, which is the important thing. It doesn't. It's not cheap to make a show of the level that we're doing. So yeah.
Right. Who have we got here? Image for Security. Dave McGinnity. Great news, Bruce. Congrats. Question for the team. Why, how did you get into biking? What is your favourite story or memory from being on a bike? Look forward to watching. I think we've done that, haven't we?
Yeah.
How we got into
pretty
biking.
close, yeah.
I think we've done it. Chunky Monkey should be a good one. Cheers, pal. Oh, Christy Axe. Bring those questions on. Who else we got? Robert Newman, 27. Love the podcast, Bruce. Thanks very much. Makes the long HCV hauls more enjoyable listening to the chat. Question for all. The BMW GS is the best adventure bike, and Bruce says it's the best bike, full stop. If you couldn't afford a GS and only a budget of £4,000, what bike would you buy and convert into an adventure bike to get as close to the GS in all its capabilities? Ooh.
Well, first of all, I'd like to beg to differ. I don't believe it's the best bike. I think it's a very, very good bike, but I don't think it's the best bike.
Now, I need to quantify this because the GS isn't the best bike overall for road riding. But all in, for me, it's the best bike all in.
Well,
Right, over to you.
if I had £4,000, I'd buy a Herald Maverick for £2,500, and then I'd use the rest of the money to actually go on an adventure.
Okay.
Nothing's more annoying than people who buy stupidly expensive GSs and then say, I can't afford to go on an adventure.
Yeah. And there's everything else that goes with it, the carnet, the shipping. Yeah. What about you, Christy?
I think for £4,000, I'd go all in and I'd buy something that I don't think you'd have to do too much for to change it or, have it as like an adventure style. And I think I'd just go straight in for KTM 950 Adventure, I think. Straight
Nice.
on it. Don't have to do much to it. It's tall, enduro chassis on it. Yeah, that'd be me, I think. Straight in there and have about 3 pence change.
That'd be great for about the first 1,000 miles, and then it broke down. Then,
Oh,
but,
gosh, it would
you'd
not.
look good. You would look good. What about you, Graham?
KTM, it would never break down. Don't ever say those words. How
You
dare
know,
you?
I had a KTM 950 Adventure, and of all of the bikes I've had, it's one of the ones I wish I'd never sold. If I could have kept bikes and had them in a huge garage, which I could never afford, I would have kept the one.
Here you are. See, I knew I was right.
But a bit like Tom, I think it kind of. I question the thing about would I want to try and have a bike that's like a GS, because we have a thing on Adventure Bike TV, which is any bike's an adventure bike.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, Bruce. Yeah, Sinus 125, fantastic. Yeah, Mongol Rally. We did it around Wales on the TET. So if I was going, and it also depends on the nature of the adventure. If my adventure was nearly all tarmac, then I'd want a different bike to if I was genuinely doing 50-50.
Yeah.
So let me kind of set my own specification. If my adventure was going to be as much off-road as on-road, and I had £4,000, I'd probably go something like my old KTM 525, which I paid a couple of grand for, but then spend a bit on some modifications to make it a little bit easier on some of the sort of maintenance, and then keep the difference to fund my trip, like Tom said.
No. Oh, yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah. For me, I would just, if you want something that's like a GS, as in we'll do everything for £4,000, I'd get a second-hand V-Strom, just a second-hand V-Strom, whether it's the 650 or 1,000. It's a great bike. It's a great bike. Does ticks everything. It's not the best of the big adventure bikes, but it's certainly very, very capable.
Yeah.
And
Really
as you said,
underrated. Really
I've ridden
underrated.
both.
Yeah.
They're great bikes.
and as you said, anything's an adventure bike. You know, it's just, if you're going to go down that route, just take whatever you fancy, because at the end of the day, if you're enjoying riding it, you're more inclined to do whatever comes your way. Whereas if you're riding a bike that you're not that fussed about, when times get hard and you think, oh, you know, I've got some really shitty track that I need to go down, you're just not going to be that compelled to actually take it on. Whereas if you're on a bike that you genuinely enjoy, you'll be like, I don't care what I'm riding over, I'll take it on. Let's do it.
Yep.
So yeah, don't get caught up into the whole, this is an adventure bike, so I have to take that. You know, just Jacques Lucassen said words to me that really struck a chord. Take the bike that makes you smile, and that has never a truer expression. Right, Gavin Fraser, 39. This is for you all. I know Bruce would be up for this, but would your production bosses do a challenge through Mongolia on any bikes of your choice? Ooh, Tom, can we go to Mongolia, please? Can we, please? Tom.
I'm not eating testicles.
Again, no.
Yeah, done that. Love to.
Sorry, Dunlop. Sorry, Dunlop.
Oh, dear. Well, you know, it all comes down to funding, which by the looks of it, we're about to lose it all. It all comes down to funding. Yes. Oh, of course, I would love to. I think it would be absolutely amazing. It just comes down to being able to fund it. So maybe one day. Maybe one day I'd love to.
Season 2. Yeah, God, yeah, absolutely. I was gutted I couldn't get. I really wanted to do Mongolia, and I couldn't do it on my trip. Hodmeister
The
09.
landscapes look stunning, don't they? Sorry to tap on them, but absolutely
it does,
stunning.
Proper
Hard
remote.
but stunning.
Yeah. Excuse me, Hodmeister 09. Will you be able to do things on what might be considered inappropriate bikes for that task? A 125 on a track day. Can it be fun? Or will a GSXR go around a motocross track? No.
I don't want to give away too much of what we're doing.
Yeah.
We are doing various things. So, for instance, oh, what's that? Has anyone else's sound just gone weird?
Nope.
Okay. I can
Are
hear
the
loads
aliens
of
coming
weird-
for you, Tom?
I don't know. I think they might be.
Cue anal probing.
No, it's like I've got interference. It's really weird.
It's not us.
I'm going to have to switch headphones. Give me a sec.
Nanu. Get your gaming headset on, Tom.
Oh,
you know the gaming headset that you didn't want to wear at the
who
start.
else knows what nanu means? I do. I bet Tom and Christy don't.
No, seriously.
I do.
Do you?
Don't insult me. I do. It's Mork and Mindy, isn't it?
There we go. See?
Oh, wonderful.
Good work.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Woo.
Robin Williams, my hero.
Oh, he
Awesome.
is the best stand-up comedian in the world ever.
Absolutely. Yeah, agree.
Now, for people watching, Tom is now modelling the headset which he wouldn't wear at the start of the show. It's his gaming headset.
He looks so
I don't
serious.
understand why.
Can you hear
Doesn't
us?
he? How you doing, Tom? Earth calling Tom. Can you hear us, Tom?
No, he can't hear us.
He can't hear us. He's got a...
Excellent.
Hello,
What are
can
we
you
going to
hear
say
me?
about him?
Hello?
You can hear him.
Oh,
He
hi.
can't hear us.
Hi,
There he
Tom.
is.
How are you? Graham wasn't saying anything derogatory about you in the slightest.
I never would. He still can't hear us.
No, he's still that blank expression. Expression?
You gone all Chinese on us.
No more beers for me.
Tom, can you hear us? Tom,
No, I
hello?
can't. Tom, can you hear us?
Oh, love him.
I might have to cut this bit out.
I would.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me.
We
Yeah,
can
we can.
hear
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Oh, I can't hear you at all.
No, we can hear you.
You need to
Well,
change
that's
your.
great, but I don't know what you're saying.
That's just the.
I love you too. Still hear me?
Yeah, you're very faint.
Apparently, I'm just not going to hear you for the rest of this.
Oh no,
I don't know how to change it.
That's actually probably better than the AirPods one.
Okay, you think I'd have some technical knowledge, wouldn't you?
That's going to be fun. That trying to Mental note: make sure you change the settings, whatever we've tweaked Tom's audio for. We'll have to redo it now. Hi, Tom. Welcome back.
I might have to leave and come back in.
Okay.
Okay. We haven't got much. We haven't got that much longer to go. Probably another 10 minutes, I would say. We can. Oh, he's gone. Right. What are we going to say about him? Tom's awesome. It's really good.
We need to wind him up. Anything competitive, wind him up because it is so funny.
He honestly as competitive as like he hints towards the fact that he's quite a competitive character.
Oh, he's unbelievably competitive, and it's so easy to tease him about it.
Teach us, teach us, Graham. Teach us.
I don't know if you've watched any of the Tales from the Trails on the Motorbike TV stuff. But we did the Welsh 125 trip doing the tech on the 125s, and Sam and I just. It's so easy. It is so, and it's hilarious. You know?
Is this going to be a lot of fun? Is it going to be fun?
Just teasing. No, I love Tom with all my heart. I love him so much, and he knows that. But he hates me as well because he knows I know which buttons to push.
You are our guru, Graham.
I know.
And
Teach
we've
us.
learned so much from you.
Teach us. Oh, I've got to admit Tom in now. Tom is just coming back in. Tom is connecting to audio.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey!
Okay, back to my answer. Do you remember what I was answering when I left? About the show, about whether we'd be doing with
different tasks and things.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, in terms of bikes in inappropriate situations, if you ever doubt about whether we're willing to do that, if you watch the most recent series of Adventure Bike TV, which is on Amazon Prime now, we did the Trans-Euro Trail through Wales on a Honda C125. You know the new version, the C90, the C125?
Yeah.
Brand spanking new from Honda. And we were going through... It was kind of over the handlebars water thing, crossings and things like that. We have no qualms about putting bikes to the test.
Awesome.
And certainly I'm not going to share with anyone because, again, it's better if the presenters don't know. But we are doing the Motorcycle Olympics where each presenter gets £500 to buy a bike. But I'm not telling them what they're going to be doing with that bike, so they won't know what kind of bike to buy.
Look forward to that. Yeah, I know.
To make
Yeah,
that business.
I'm going to carry on eating my pizza.
what have we got here? Oh yeah, Gavin Fraser 39. Will you take Bruce off road? Better still, the Tet. Any bike of his choice, if the dealer will give it to him. Not a GS. Basically, my lot have this thing in their head that I play up to it, that I despise off road. So any opportunity whatsoever to get me off-road, they love it.
Well, by all means, come and join us on a filming day with Adventure Bike TV.
I'll give it a crack, no problem. No worries.
Oh, can I come as well? Can I come?
Of course. No worries. You can go in my place.
Take your place gladly, Bruce.
Right, I think this is second last one on Instagram. Joe Hints, 3 bike garage. Has to be 3. Go. Ooh, 3 bikes in your garage. Go. Which ones?
I would say my current garage with the one I intend to put in there, which is the EXE 500 plus the BMW plus the old Farblade. It's
nice.
For me now, at this moment in time, it's the right mix. That might change next year. Who knows?
Like it. What about you, Christy?
3 bikes. The 1200 Monster. Trident 660. Triumph Trident 660. And the KTM Super Duke.
Oh.
Or the... What was it? The... Duke R, the 890 was there? Yeah.
Right.
The little
Yeah,
one.
you want that?
Yeah.
What about you, Tom?
KTM 950 Enduro, because that's a beast of a bike. Probably the Harley Davidson Livewire, to be honest. And the Aerial Ace, which I think is the most beautiful bike on the market at the moment.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice. Good choices, Tom.
I've not heard that one crop up before. Ooh.
I would have changed my answers now.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have the new Gen 3 Super Duke R. 100%. That is, for me, that's the perfect road bike. Love it. I think I would have to have an electric in there, and it's either going to be the Livewire or the Energica Rebelle. But they've brought out is it the GS or the RS or something? They've brought out basically a souped up version of the one I took out. So it's got to be that.
They got like the Ego Plus. Is that the one?
Something like that, yeah. Well, I mean, the Ego is their sports bike version. I rode that in it. Oh, listen to me. I rode that in Italy. It's good, but I prefer the Rebelle style. You know, the sort of naked style of bike. So yeah, I think I'd have the Energica, the Super Duke R, and it would either be the Triumph Rocket 3 or a Fat Boy. It would be that style of bike. I think the Rocket 3 is more refined, and I would love to try that in the dry. I rode the Harley Fat Boy in the dry, and it was just a chilled out machine. But I think the Triumph will probably be balls to the wall. Like the Triumph you can chug along on, but I think you could also really properly hustle that. So I think I'll probably have those three at the moment. That would be my
choice.
Yeah. Good range.
Yeah,
Good range.
yeah. Right, last question on Instagram. Martin Treacher. A question for Christy. How do I get the cap off my Karcher steam cleaner? Is it down and left or just left? What's the story? There's obviously a story here.
Stupidly, I treated myself to a steam cleaner, and I struggled a little bit with the cap because in the instruction manual it just says unscrew the cap.
Right.
So I'm unscrewing the cap, and the cap's not going anywhere, and obviously I'm going the wrong way there, as you can see. I'm unscrewing the cap, and it's just not coming off. So I took to Instagram, as you do, to kind of say what the fudge is wrong with it, and I had a lot of backlash about the fact that I wasn't pushing down and lefty loosey in it as you push down. But if you had said it was like on a car when you're putting the coolant in, and I would have understood. But the fact that it doesn't say that in the manual, and it just
sounds like cowpole for kids. You have to push it down.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it was clearly child locked, and I struggled like shit with it. All right, that was the issue. So I eventually did it, but like I said, nobody warned me though that after you use it, and I was really confident with unscrewing it, obviously the excess steam comes out, like in a car, like if you're changing water in it, and it burnt my hand. It was a bad
so basically, we're laughing at your misfortune. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry.
Basically, Martin is basically taking the piss.
You're a bad person, Martin. You're a bad person. Right.
Press down to the left.
Across onto Facebook, and I've just sort of dashed through the questions on Facebook, and it's basically lots of people saying they can't wait to see the show. Then we have one question from Jock Stare. So this will be the last question from Jock Stare. Who would you least likely to ride? I think what he means is who would you least like to ride pillion with, and why? So your least favourite pillion. Now, is that you?
Are we pillion or are they pillion?
That's what I'm thinking. Is it you as pillion or them as pillion? Let's go us as pillion. Who would you least likely to ride pillion with and them ride the bike?
Guy Martin.
Because he wouldn't slow down even if I was crying.
No compassion whatsoever for the pillion, would there? There would be no let off. No.
No.
I was going to say go Martin as well. I just, there'll be nothing, no sympathy whatsoever.
Wow. Right. Okay. Christy, I'm mad. I'm desperately trying to think.
Like I said earlier, anyone from the Weinstein Company for obvious reasons.
Oh God, I can't even think. Jesus. Well, I mean, I've committed to it, but I've got to say, I'm not entirely looking forward to doing a pillion of the TT circuit with Dom Herbertson. But in a way I am, and in a way I'm not.
That would terrify me. I had to say,
Oh,
big up to you, mate. That would terrify me to do that.
I've got 100% faith in the bloke. It's just I am a control freak. I like to be in charge. So the thought of being pillion with anyone, I don't like the thought of. But I'm looking forward to it. I hope it does happen. But at the same extent, I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be horrific.
Genuinely, I have no fear of that. Genuinely, I literally, it's weird. In a car, I can't even stand anyone else driving. But on a bike, for some reason, I'm happy with either riding it or being on the back with it.
Hate being pillion.
I love both ways. I got to be honest, and I'm so
another one for the trailer.
I'm so jealous that you're going to do the lap with Dom that I want to do.
Well, we can make that happen. I'm sure we can sort something out.
Seriously,
Can we make sure it happens after we've made the series, please?
Sorry? What?
Can we make sure it happens after we've filmed?
in case I come off.
You've got to do it. When Christy goes and does the TT section, the Isle of Man section, you've got to get Dom over and get him to do a lap with her on the back. Honestly. Come on.
I'm going to be eating my words.
Commit on camera.
The TT. It's not going to be the TT week, so you won't be able to go full pelt anyway. But
you can over the mountain section. The mountain section. There's no speed limit on the mountain section.
I'm there. I'm so there.
Their national speed limit is unrestricted. So once you get out onto the mountain, it's open season.
Didn't know that.
Within reason, you can't ride or drive like a complete idiot, but there is no speed limit. So it comes down to what the police determine as dangerous or anything like that.
Never dangerous.
Never.
Never on a bike. Never.
Not with a TT racer. It will be fine.
No, that's bog standard. That's daily. That's work.
There we go. See now, Tom. I will put you in connection with Dom, and we'll go from there.
Tom's face.
Tom's just saying litigation,
I don't care,
insurance.
Really.
Oh no. Right, that is literally us. I think we've actually managed to answer all questions. 3 hours and almost 20 minutes.
Yay!
Insane.
Before we go,
Yes, mate.
Did it.
I don't know whether you're going to mention that Dunlop have said they'll donate a pair of tyres.
Oh wow!
For one of your viewers.
Fantastic.
So I don't know how you want to organise that giving of away, but Dunlop have said they're happy to chuck a pair of tyres to someone who you deem necessary.
Right.
I'm watching this.
Right, how can we do this? What I will do then is Right, I've got to make this work for me, and I've got to make it work for you. So, if you are listening to the podcast, so if you're watching this on YouTube, you need to get yourself across to iTunes, you need to get yourself across to Spotify, Google, whatever it is, anywhere where the podcast is. Even go across onto the podcast website, which you can listen to at TeapotOne.com. I need you to leave a review. So whether that's 1 star or 5 stars, whatever you think fits, leave a review.
5 stars.
Exactly. 5 stars are preferably, obviously. But I will pick somebody from this podcast, this date range, so within the next week. So this will go live What date are we at? 22nd. So this will go live on, bear with me people, sorry. This will go live on Wednesday the 27th. So between Wednesday the 27th and Wednesday 27th of January and Tuesday the 2nd of February 2021, leave a review and I will pick someone from the reviews who leaves a review, and you will get your choice. Is it your choice of tyres from Dunlop?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. So you will get a free set of tyres off of Dunlop. Thank you very much, Dunlop. Most appreciated. Thank you very much. And again, shout about it on any of the socials and let people know so they head there and do it. Awesome, guys. Before we call it quits, thank you so much for coming on board. I've really enjoyed it. I can't believe it's been almost 3.5 hours. That's phenomenal.
I know, it's crazy.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks, my friend.
Cheers, Ewan. Thanks very much,
He's
Ewan.
back. My love's back.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
To be fair, it's actually quite effective.
I can't wait to get cracking with this. I really, genuinely can't. So thank you very much, everybody, for the opportunity. Really cannot wait to get cracking.
Thank you.
Tom, is there anything you need to shout about, plug before we go?
I would like to say a massive thank you to Dunlop, who are our production partners for the show. Without them, we wouldn't be able to bring the show to you, and we certainly wouldn't be able to bring it to anyone for free like we're being able to do through the Dunlop website. I'd like to thank Ferredax, who confirmed today came on board as clothing suppliers for the show, which means that your lovely presenters are going to be able to wear some really cool stuff. Showy helmets and spiddy clothing and city boots, and that's all going to be supplied by Ferredax. So thank you very much to them. That's it really. We're just those two guys are how we're making this show, but especially Dunlop, brilliant to have as a production partner. I just love the fact, if I'm honest, I think like many people, I grew up seeing racing tracks with the massive Dunlop tyre bridge.
Yeah.
To have the people that do that supporting what I genuinely hope, to be the kind of the show that I think the motorcycle market has needed for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that this is it. And thank you. Thank you.
It's going to be good.
Hopefully you'll never see me again. This is where I disappear, and now it's all these three. Okay, so if the show goes appallingly, it's these three.
I will.
You clearly want to start off.
It'll be brilliant.
I am going to be doing some filming on the Teapot channel behind the scenes. Don't you worry. So you will see, Tom. Don't worry about that.
Yay!
Graham, Christy, anything you want to say before we head off? Excuse me.
No, just I like you said, I can't believe it's been 3.5 hours. It's just gone. It's gone past in a flash. I can't wait to get out there and start filming with you guys.
Christy.
Same, really. It just can't come quick enough. Honestly, yeah. I am just absolutely stoked, and I just think, well, if 3.5 hours can go that quick, of us just chopping away, then sky's the limit. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait.
It's going to be mega, isn't it? We have been chipping at the bit to try and to say something, haven't we? Until we got the go ahead to actually say anything. So. Yeah, folks.
Good job none of you were nagging me or anything. Tom, do you know when it's happening yet? Tom.
It's coming to your screen soon, and as soon as we start filming, I think we're going to start leaking some stuff on social media, aren't we? Some behind-the-scenes filming and stuff. So we will be bringing you content before it goes live on Amazon. So keep following the socials. I'll put links to everybody's socials down below in the podcast notes and in the YouTube notes. Check out the description there. There'll be links everywhere. Make sure you follow everybody. Make sure you interact with us. Let us know what you want to see, what you do like, what you don't like. Once the series starts, let us know what you like and what you're not liking. And hopefully we can mould this into something that you really enjoy and you invest in.
Make sure it's constructive, though. Don't send me death threats.
Yeah, obviously. That was crap is no use. Just give us something. Give us some feedback, all right? Okay then, right folks, if you're still here almost 3.5 hours later, thank you so much for your devotion to the cause. It is much appreciated. I hope you've enjoyed it. what can I say, folks? We are hopefully nearly through this. I think there is some positivity on the horizon there. So keep on doing your thing. Keep looking after those that you love. Get on out there and live your life. Woo-ha! Guys, thank you so much. Really enjoyed that. It's been a giggle.
That's awesome.
I wasn't expecting it.
I don't think we've lost too many sponsors.